20% off Truck Stop Lowe Board Pro for 6 months. The best tool for serious carriers. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to get 20% off Lowe Board Pro for 6 months. Need capital to grow your business or cover unexpected expenses? Rock Financial has your back. Whether you're looking for a flexible line of credit, a fast cash advance, or tailored working capital solutions, Rock Financial makes it simple to get funded, often in as little as 24 hours. No hidden fees, an easy application, and real support from people who know the business. Ready to take your hustle to the next level? Tap the link in the description to get started with Rock Financial today. Wish insurance was this easy? With LogRock, it's like magic. Real coverage appears when you need it. No tricks. Get covered now. Click the link in the description.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's up? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Come on in. Let me get a mic check. I know some people was complaining yesterday that the mic was low. So after the stream, last night I went and did a little due diligence. And I think I corrected the issue. I think I saw something that reset. Let me know if the mic is good, if it sounds better than yesterday. Some people were saying it was a little low yesterday. Let me know. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Let's get these bills out the way. Come on in. Rock Financial, guys, there's a link in the description if you need business lines of credit, business loans, any form of working capital for your business. There's a link in the description to Rock Financial. Make sure you guys click that link in the description for all your working capital business needs. Also, LogRock, if you need commercial insurance for your semi-truck, your box truck, your cargo van, if you're a gigger and you need commercial insurance, there's also another link in the description for LogRock for all your commercial insurance needs. So we got Rock Financial for all your business lines of credit, your business loans, any form of working capital. And then we got LogRock for all your commercial insurance needs. Make sure you click that link in the description. Come on in, guys. Click the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. Let's get this roll call out the way real quick so we can get this show on the Renault. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to Rich in Chicago. What's going on? Shout out to everybody from the crib. Shout out to T-Bone Talks representing West Texas. Shout out to Ben Bauer. Ben Bauer, I saw you put a comment. I was watching a replay, I think, of the Monday show. And you said you getting into the box truck business and you kind of discouraged, man. I think you said something about the work. It's a lot of work or something. What's going on, big dog? What's going on, man? Well, I know a little work ain't hurting you. What's going on with that, big dog? Shout out to D Jenkins in the building. Shout out to everybody that's a part of the MGM gang. Shout out to Isty Walk, Andrew Green. What's going on? Box Truck Dan representing Sacramento. Shout out to Chris P. Shout out to Rowe in the building. Did I say T-Bone Talks? I got T-Bone Talks, got Chris P. Shout out to Ben. What's going on? Atlanta in the building. Shout out to D Jenkins for that super chat. Appreciate that. Getting those super chats in early. Shout out to Michael, repping New York. Shout out to Edie. The young snappers ain't going to find them out. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm not really expecting. Every time I say I'm not expecting a lot of people, it still be a nice turnout. But I think now, in comparison to 3 years ago when everybody was fighting it, I think more people will be apt to listen to my final mile spiel now, because of the results that people that did listen and transition have come up and deem the information credible. I think more people will listen now than maybe 3 years ago. We'll see. Shout out to 608. Shout out to Sharks World. Sharks World, where you been? I ain't seen you in a minute. Come on in. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. How's everybody doing? This was Thursday, July 31st. It's Thursday, July 31st afternoon. All right, let's get the show on the road. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. All right, today we're going to talk about Final Mile. We're going to talk about Final Mile. For all the people that's been around for a while, you already know where we're going with this. For the people that haven't been around, welcome. Pull up a chair, get you some information, some news that you can use. Now, everybody that follows my channel, they already know what it is. It's two things. I'm going to tell you where the money at. I tell everybody where the money at. It's just a lot of people don't want to go do what it takes to get to the money. Moving and find them out. Now, here let me say something about the moving. And I know a lot of people, I see everything, all right? I see everything, and a lot of people like, man, we want you to talk more about the moving. The reason why I don't put out a lot of moving content is because the people that I have seen try to transition into moving as far as off the road out of desperation, they just suck horribly. Listen, I'm always keep it a buck with you. Like, moving is not for everybody. Just because it's a lot of money into it, I'm not going to proactively, do it when I see people running to it and tearing people's shit up. And they don't want to listen to what I'm telling you, the steps that you need to take to be successful at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing people never did no moving in life, trying to do 3 and 4 bedroom home moves. I saw something the other day where this dude loaded the truck, and he may be watching. Me, Big Mark, I'm not going to sugarcoat. Now, I don't care if you're in my Discord. I don't care if you are a subscriber. I don't care. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All right? So there are steps that you need to take. If I say, start small, 2 or 3 pieces, dorm rooms, Craigslist shit that, is, you can put on the back of a pickup truck, a specific type of customer, then that's what I mean. That's the lane you should start. You don't come from wherever the hell it is you came from and your business is struggling, and then you like, damn, that moving money, man. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, man, let me give it a try, because people is transitioning. They saying that moving money different. They saying he right about that shit. That nigga still sitting in the crib, too. It's been 3 years I've been watching that nigga. That nigga moving money long like that? Damn, let me go try it. And then you go from never did move before to trying to move 3 and 4 bedrooms. Like, you're going to fail. And not only you going to fail, you're going to end up getting sued. You're going to tear somebody's shit up. You're going to tear their house up. No. There's levels to this. So this is why I don't promote it, because majority of people are just like the people you see in the box truck space that want to go OTR Amazon. They want to come in and they want to skip steps. I'm not going to actively promote something that has, been very, very good to me and flood the industry with a bunch of misfits. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So ultimately, that's why I don't really pump it like that. The people who really want it, you know how to find me, and you're gonna get the sauce. But you're gonna go about things the right way. If I say, start small, I'm telling you to start small for a reason. You're not gonna be able to come from wherever the hell you came from and successfully move a 3 or 4 bedroom house without tearing some shit up. You're not gonna know how to squeeze something the size of a watermelon into something the size of a lemon without tearing some shit up. Is an art to it. You're not going to know how to successfully pack 3 bedrooms in a 26-foot truck if you can't successfully know how to pack a studio or a 1 bedroom in a 16-foot truck. I've done reaction videos to other content creators that come out here, and I've shown you how they load the truck, and then I see people trying to duplicate that, and I'm not gonna do it. All right. So if you want that moving information, you can get it. You know how to get in contact with me, but I'm going to vet you out. I'm going to vet you out. I'm not going to just give it to you because you want it. I'm going to vet you out. I'm on the brink of literally kicking somebody out of my Discord right now, and they will tell you. I told them, I said, if you don't get your shit together, I'm going to kick you out of here. If I give you a blueprint and you decide to do shit on your own, but then you keep coming back to me with issues, it's because you're not following the blueprint. The reason why you're damaging shit, the reason why you can't find workers is because you're not following the blueprint. So we're going to talk about final mile. All right? Because there's a level of control there, right? There's a party right above you. It's called a 3PL, and it's there's a level of policing there, because if you don't get your shit to get right, then they're holding your paycheck, and if there's claims, right, that shit is gonna come out of your settlement. All right, so right under moving is final mile. All right, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. You got a lot of people jumping into this business, and they're chasing the shiny objects, right? They're chasing the shiny objects. Oop, hold on one minute. They're chasing the shiny objects. Shiny objects are Amazon Relay, Lowe boards, gig apps. Like I don't understand why somebody would chase a gig app. It beats me. I was going to do a whole live stream on gig apps today and like desecrate, but I didn't want to hurt nobody's feelings going into the weekend, so we may hold that off until Monday. Everything that has this low barrier to entry, you watch a few YouTube videos of some of your favorite content creators, and you just quick to come in, no due diligence, none of that shit. Here's the truth: business is about long-term stability. Long-term stability. Scalability. That's something I'm probably going to get into next week or the week after next, right? A lot of people want me to talk about scaling. 98% of the people that come to me to talk about scaling, when I vet them out, I ask them 2 or 3 questions, they're not ready. That's why I don't talk about it. A niche, right? What people should be looking for is a niche that can survive in any economy. Right under moving, which 99% of the people can't do because either they just can't physically do it, they mentally can't do it, or they don't want to do the work that's associated with making that type of money, is going to be final mile delivery. It's going to be king when it comes to box trucking right under moving. Now, I said this from day one. When I first started my channel, I used to go to war 3 years ago with other content creators when everybody was so gung-ho on OTR and Amazon Relay. And I've been saying this. It's going to be your best bet. It's going to be your best bet. Let me tell you why. We're going to break this down in phases. 1, the demand is evergreen. It's recession proof. It's absolutely recession proof. It's proven that to you right now. Whether you think we're in a recession or not, it's recession proof. People gonna always need furniture. People gonna always need appliances. And these things have to get delivered, whether the economy is booming or in a downturn. We can just look at it from the appliance side. Furniture may be a frivolous purchase depending, on the reason why you're purchasing it. But most of the times, appliances are purchased most of the times out of necessity. Why? Because the previous appliance may be on its last leg or it's just gone out. I recently just had to purchase a new washer and dryer, a wash tower. I got a LG wash tower. I live in a condo, so I have a laundry room, right? So it has to be a stackable unit. This is my third one since I've been here. I've been here 11 years. This is my third laundry center in 11 years. They don't make the shit like they used to. The reason why is because after the warranty goes out, I'll get an extended warranty, and then either I'm going to continue to pay on that extended warranty or I'm just going to have the service people come out each occurrence, right? It's the same problem. Every 6 months, they got to either come out here and do something with the pilot light for the driver, or it's always the dryer. And it just gets to the point where I'm spending $300-$400 each time they come out. Forget it. I'll just buy a new one. Doesn't matter where we're at in the economy. I got to wash my shit. Refrigerator goes out or it's on its last leg or whatever the case may be, got to get a new refrigerator. Warranties, 1-in-1s. There's going to always be a necessity for appliances regardless of the economy. Housing doesn't stop. People move, people remodel, people replace appliances year round. A lot of the major cities, for the people that live in major cities, you see a lot of new development going up. Luxury condos, luxury apartment rentals. Every unit has to get stocked with appliances. When you see buildings going up, each unit has to get a refrigerator, has to get a stove. It's 2025. You're going to get an over the range oven, microwave. Depending on how luxury the unit is or not, dishwasher. Depending on how luxury the unit is or the amenities, washer and dryer. Every unit has to get one. Doesn't matter where the economy is at. This is year round. Even during recessions, pandemics, Lowe's, Home Depot, Best Buy, Costco are running deliveries daily. It's facts. When I started doing Final Mile, when I got introduced to Final Mile, prior to it, my moving business would slow down during the winter. Final Mile, that other entity allowed me consistency all year long. It doesn't stop. Now, when you compare that to OTR spot market freight, what do you get? You get volatility. You get volatile rates. You get seasonal swings. You get dry spells that leave you sitting, January and February. That doesn't hold true over on the Final Mile side. Of course, there's going to be dips and swings, but if you are in a Final Mile 3PL and you are one of those crews or your crews is those guys, then it's not going to affect you. It's not going to affect you because it's going to be based on seniority and how you score nowadays. The guys at the bottom take the hit if routes are slow. Not the guys in the middle and at the top. But there's always going to be freight on the docks. Final Mile is tied to retail and housing and not the spot market. It's tied to retail and housing, not the spot market. That's why it doesn't collapse the same way Amazon and OTR does when the rates collapse. It's a different ball game. A lot of people fail because they want what's easy. And I always say it. If anything that I'm going to do, I want to make the most money out of it. I'm not going to do nothing half-assed. I'm not coming into anything to get by. So moving and final mile is where I can make the most money with a box truck. I don't give a care how much work is associated with it. I'd rather work hard for 10 and 15 years physically and mentally than work 40 years, period. Now let that sink into your head. I wouldn't want to be the 50 years, and no disrespect, to anybody, but I'm just keeping it a buck with you. I just wouldn't want to do it. If I could run up a serious bag in a decade, maybe a decade and a half, and appropriate the money correctly so that now I can utilize my money as a tool to make more money, then I'd rather dedicate that decade and a half or whatever it is to working extremely hard so that I can enjoy the rest of my life while still making money. I'm looking to get ahead, not get by. Getting by is only going to get you by for so long until inflation and life just catches up with you. Life, whatever it may be. You might need to replace a roof. You might get into a serious accident and now you can't work. You were running a box truck business, let's say, as an owner operator, and because you were just getting by, you didn't have health insurance. Whatever the case may be, there's so many different scenarios that are out there that I come across from people reaching out and talking to me and things that I see, because everybody likes to go on TikTok and Instagram and tell all their business. You can just see it for yourself. You don't even have to be a person like me of influence in this niche where people confide into you with their problems within this space. You can go on TikTok or Instagram because you just search box truck business and you got people in there spewing all their business. Getting by is only a matter of time before shit catches up with you. That's why you got to get ahead. Let's talk about the predictability. It's predictable. It's contract-based income. It's contract-driven. 3PLs like XPO, JB Hunt Final Mile, XPO, they deal through direct retailer partnerships. This is why they take a cut. It's similar like what you guys that do OTR deal with when you deal with a broker. These 3PLs, they'll send a sales guy out to these corporate retailers, corporate offices, and they'll do a demonstration and they'll bid to get the national or the regional account to run home delivery for these retailers. What this means for you as a box truck business owner is a steady schedule of routes. You know your start time, you know your stops, you know your payout pretty much every week, depending on what you negotiate. I've talked about how to negotiate in past live streams. Man, it's probably been about a year and a half now. Depending on how you get paid, it's consistent, it's steady. You're not chasing load after load after load of volatility, because the middle mile is volatile. You're not waking up every day gambling on a load board, wondering if you're going to get a load, if you're not going to get a load, if the loads you get is going to be enough to cover your bills, cover fuel. You don't have to deal with that. You know what you know what you're getting day in and day out. So it puts you at a little bit a level of ease in comparison to a person who's running OTR. This may be the most parallel thing that I can This is probably the closest thing to a 9 to 5, right? And I'm saying it like this because, to be honest with you, outside the work, I think some people that come into business still need some form of delegation. And that's what you get from the 3PL, right? Because there are rules and parameters that are set that you still have to abide by. There's a form of structure there. You need to be at loadout 5:30, 6 in the morning. You're getting these stops. You got a rate sheet. You're going in order. Like, everything is pretty much on the back end. It's there for you. You just got to physically go out, do the work, right? Make sure you don't mess anything up, break anything, destroy a person's property, right? So you get claims and shit like that. But like all the back end shit, which is a lot of OTR guys struggle with as far as sourcing opportunity, relationships, you don't have to do none of that shit. It's stable revenue versus, chaos dealing with OTR rates and the volatility that's over there. I'm just doing a comparison analysis. It's up to you to do what you want to do. But I felt like this would be a good time to just reintroduce this to people who are complaining about OTR. All right. Now let's talk about, the coverage. It's local work. Home every night. Home every night. That's what a lot of people want anyway. So unlike OTR, you're not sleeping in your truck for weeks at a time. You're home every night. For people with families, this is a good option for you. Instead of running 2,500 miles a week at razor thin margins, in most cases, depending on how dense your route and your market is, you're running somewhere between 50 and 150 miles. Now, I know there are cases where you may have to go further. I got a guy in my Discord, he does final mile. He averages about 350 miles a day, but he's not in a major populated city. All right. When we were running, my routes were less than 50 miles. I live in a big city. So, the routes are really, really dense. Right. So, in most cases, depending on your market, you're looking at 50 to 150 miles, right? Depending on your market, you're looking at somewhere between $3,000 to $7,000 a week. Now, that's a big range, but that's going to be market depending. You're not going to make over $5,000 if you're in a small market. When I say those $6,000 and those $7,000 markets, I'm talking LA, I'm talking New York, I'm talking Chicago. $4,000-$5,000 routes, final mile a week. You're looking more like Houston, Atlanta, Philadelphia, places like that. Markets where you may like Orlando, Tallahassee, Cleveland, places like that. You're right around gross, maybe like $3,500 to $4,000 a week gross. All right. Similar to what a lot of these OTR box truck guys are making that's driving across the country. The difference is you're not going to have the exorbitant cost that they have. Generating about the same in gross with way less cost. If you're running in a market that's very dense, you can eliminate that ELD. You don't need it. 50 to 150 air miles, you don't need it. Now, if you're going over 150 air miles, then yes. Obviously, if you're crossing state lines, then yes. If you are in a really dense market and you don't have to cross state lines at all because your route is within the inner city or the surrounding suburbs, if they allow you, you may be able to transition your authority from an interstate authority to an intrastate authority, and you'll see a handsome deduction in your insurance. Now, this is sauce right here. You ain't going to find this anywhere else. A lot of you people didn't know that. See that right there, that's some sauce right there. Depending on the carrier, they may allow you to reduce it from interstate to interstate, and you'll see a handsome deduction in your insurance while you're still grossing the same amount that the guy that's driving across country has to drive across country to make, but you're doing the same gross at minimal cost. Now let's talk about scalability. Scalability is a lot easier from a final mile perspective than it is OTR. I think scaling in any aspect today is difficult with just, sourcing people and where the mindset is at. And everybody having the same mindset of I don't want to. What's crazy to me is everybody that don't want to work expect other people that got this whole woke mind. I don't want to work. Working is for suckers and da da da. But then you have a mindset you want to start a business and you think you're gonna get people to work for you. Like, make that shit make sense to me. That's part of the reason why it's hard for people to scale. Outside of the fact that they don't do what they're supposed to do in the first place to master one truck in order to be able to scale in the first place. But final mile is a lot easier to scale than OTR. The contracts are structured for multi-truck growth. Now nowadays you got some 3PLs, they don't want MCs. They rather just deal with ICs. I know Cardinal, when I talked to the this is prior to them getting acquired by Ryder. I remember speaking to John over at he's the exec over there at Cardinal. He's an exec now at Ryder. I'm not gonna give you his last name because I don't need people calling and blowing him up and say, man, Mark told me your name, man. Try to use me. But anyway, I remember him telling me they don't want MCs on their dock. They don't want one specific company controlling a large majority of their dock. But then again, you have some 3PLs that happily promote scalability and growth, and they promote people to, grow from ICs to MCs. Well, Mark, what's an MC? An MC is a master contractor. Someone who's running a fleet of trucks, all right, versus an independent contractor, a guy with me, I call an independent contractor 1 to 3 trucks. If you get over 3 trucks, then me, I consider you a master contractor, all right. You can start with 1 truck, prove yourself, and then add trucks of teams under the same contract, all right. This is something I was successful in early on back in the day. There's always going to be a need for people in final mile because of the work, right? We're in a society where people don't want to work. People want to be their own boss, and even with being their own boss, they still don't want to work. So the turnover rate is high. Right? So it's easy to bring more trucks on, right? You're working directly with them because you're local. It's easier to, hire someone locally to do final mile and be more involved in the day-to-day because you're physically there. You can physically see the person. You can, talk to them every day. You can check the truck to see what's going on versus OTR, right? 3PL prefer contractors who can cover multiple routes. And when you prove yourself that you can cover multiple routes, you become what's considered their go-to. I've told stories of how I was able to scale successfully in 3PLs because there's always people that just don't show up. When I was growing my 3PL, once I realized that this company, this one specific 3PL that I had a contract with, was calling me every single day. And when I mean they call me every day, they call me every day. The first time they called me and asked if I could recover a route, and I said yes, and I sent the truck out there, every day after that, they called me. And every day I sent the truck. Once I realized that they were going to call me every day, and I realized that there was always going to be freight on the dock, I didn't scramble to go appease them. When they would call me, I made that shit happen because I wanted more money. I started to gamble then by just scheduling someone and have them sitting around and wait for the call so that this guy would already be there because I knew I was going to eventually get the call. Hopefully I would get it by 8 or 9, and then I could just send that guy out to the 3PL, right? So each time I was able to recover for somebody else, it was like putting a favor in their back pocket. And then eventually those became my routes. It was easy for me to get more routes. They would come to me and like, man, how many more trucks can you onboard? My answer is as many as you need. Now, I wouldn't advise a person who wasn't tenured to do something like that. At that point, I was tenured and moving. And because I had already had a successful moving company, I had a bag of money to play with over here, right? Because each truck I onboarded, there's a cost that's associated with it. You're 3 weeks in the rear, right? The cost to get up and started, train, so on and so forth, right? You have to have money. The 3PL is going to go to that go-to guy who never says no. I'm never saying no. So it was easy for me to start with one, let's say for IKEA, then get to 3 morning and 3 in the evening. Running 6 trucks for IKEA 7 days a week. That shit wasn't nothing. Going over to Office Depot, getting up to 9 for Office Depot, that shit wasn't nothing. That shit didn't take years. That shit took all of about a year. Because I never turned nothing down, and I always had resources, which is capital, that whenever they would come to me with an opportunity, I was in position to take it. Because there's always going to be freight on the dock. There's always going to be somebody, especially if you're in a large market, the odds of every independent contractor showing up to work, the master contractors were always treated different than the ICs because we have the resources. We understand business a little bit more than independent contractors. So, us missing a route on a day, it just doesn't happen. We gonna make some shit shake. But ICs, they are a little bit more laissez-faire when it comes to their responsibilities. So if a truck breaks down, it's like they don't have the mental fortitude to go rent a truck. Your truck is down. Either you can't afford to get it fixed or it's going to be sitting in the shop. Why allow a guy like me to cover your route for 2 to 3 weeks while your truck is down? Because after a week, I'm trying to take your shit. I don't care about your truck. I don't care about your plight. We covering it for you. My drivers got comfortable with it. I'm calling the op soup. Rosalind, I need this. I remember Rosalind used to look out for me because she was the only black exec at this particular 3PL at that time. And she just would always look out for me. She would talk to me off the record, and she was over this contract for Office Depot. And even when she left Dynamics and she went over to do, she went to another 3PL, a medical courier 3PL, when she needed hospital beds, she would always call me, and I would send trucks to go get that work. I never said no. She could depend on me. Scaling is a lot easier with final mile delivery. The truck you own, it's not just moving random freight. It's tied to a daily revenue stream with predictable expansion potential. It's just a matter of time. Like I was saying, I think I cut myself off. It's not likely that every route is going to show up every day. So the possibilities are endless. I know that Office Depot route that was here at that particular time when we were running was 43 routes a day. It was 43 routes. I had 9 of them. So I had a fourth of that contract. That's a lot of routes. What's the likelihood of 43 outside of my 9? So the other 34 I see showing up every single day. It's not likely. With OTR, scaling is risky. Why? Because you're chasing new freight daily. If I got 10 dedicated trucks, no matter where they are, the keyword is dedicated. If those trucks run Monday through Friday dedicated, I know Monday through Friday, they're going to have work. Either they're getting paid X amount of dollars a stop, or I got a guarantee. That stress level of having to look and hope for loads and good paying rates and weigh that with the rising cost of diesel and market fluctuations, and what is Jerome Powell going to say when he addresses Congress next week, and is that going to weigh on consumer buying behavior and the different industries as it pertains to freight? You don't have to worry about that shit. It's pretty much plug and play. It's plug and play. Relationships. Straight B2B. Your business to the business of the 3PL. They have the relationship from a B2B perspective with the national retailers. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. You're not on, when you're on a contract, you're not fighting every day for pennies against 50 other people. That contract for that specific truck is locked in. You don't have to fight with other carriers. Now, there may be somebody that's lobbying for your shit if you're not taking care of your business, but it's not a daily grind of chasing something. You become a trusted service provider, not a random MC number. Bidding for and depending on what your cost per mile is, scraps. It's consistent revenue, great pay terms, better treatment. It's hard to get kicked out of a 3PL, even if you're on the lower end on a totem pole, because you keep, having claims and doing dumb shit and you keep getting these low scores. It's hard for them still to get rid of you because they need people. They're not consuming the cost of you scratching somebody's wall or nicking somebody's refrigerator while you're delivering it. You're just gonna get the sucky routes. And if things do slow down and you're just gonna be on the lower total pole, the guys up here are always gonna have a full day, always. 12 months out of the year, you're just gonna be at the lower end of the spectrum, the lower end of the totem pole. That's up to you. All right. Now, let's get into equipment and cost advantage. ELD, for the most part, you don't need one if you're within that 150 air mile radius. Now, that's all going to depend on your market, right? If you're in New York, Chicago, LA, depending on the route you have, right? Depends on how far out you're going. Now, when I first was getting started, I remember they used to send my trucks way out to the boondocks. All right. I remember first 3PL I was with was Dynamics, which is now T-Force. They were in Wooddale. This is when they were in Wooddale before they moved over to Addison. They were off Thorndale Road. A lot of my routes were out like in Grays Lake. So for people from Chicago, just think of the difference. So my warehouse is on the south side. They would come to the yard 5 a.m, drive from the south side, southeast side, all the way to Wooddale, Lowe, and then they would go up to Grays Lakes. They would go up to Gurnee, Antioch, Zion, way northwest. And that shit I used to hate it because that was a lot of fuel, and not just necessary to fuel, still profitable. It was just the complaining from the drivers because once the route was done, now they're sitting in rush hour traffic for 2 hours to get back to the south side. They're coming from way up top. They got to fight their way back through the city. Obviously, they probably some guys would take 294 around. Some guys would have to sit that traffic coming up 94, coming into the city, all that traffic on the Kennedy, coming into downtown, then the Dan Ryan. I used to get tired of them complaining. So I knew that there were routes in the city. I had started to fight for them. And as I started getting those city routes because of the relationship that I had with Rosalind, and because of the amount of favors that I had in my back pocket from doing all the recovering, I just started knocking people off. And once I started getting those city routes, which were pretty much Chicago public schools, because this is Office Depot, so this is mostly Chicago public schools, which there's a ton of Chicago public schools. All the county buildings, the county hospitals, the county courts, the state buildings. Those routes were so dense, wouldn't even burn like damn near a quarter of a tank a day, maybe a little bit more than a quarter of a tank. Had guarantees, right? Something I was able to negotiate, right? Because you get more leverage with the more trucks you have. No, not that many trucks. You're gonna have to take whatever they're giving you, which is 9 times out of 10 are gonna be a per piece. You're gonna get paid per piece. When you coming in there big dog and shit, and you can say, yeah, I can give you 5, I can give you 10 trucks, they have to meet your demand. If they're requesting that many trucks, that means they're in desperate need. So I have the leverage. I need a guarantee. That puts me at a peace of mind. I know I'm going to be making, I know what my margins are, so I know what the max amount of stops each truck can get, and then I know that there's going to be some days where there's going to be a minimal amount of stops. For that particular contract, obviously going into the summertime when schools are out, all the public schools stop ordering. The routes come down. They start to pick back up in August, September. Going into the Christmas break, routes come down. The schools are closed. There's not going to be anyone there to receive the delivery. But guess what? Still get that guarantee. No looking on Lowe boards, no worrying about day to day. I can count that money weeks ahead of time. And as long as those trucks are rolling, which they are because I need that money, I can count on that money. That's one less headache, one less stress that I'm putting on myself that a lot of owners put on themselves when they constantly have to, go shop for loads every day. Less wear and tear. Like a lot of the issues that a lot of people have that I hear, I've never had none of these issues. I had one truck that the transmission went out, and believe it or not, that was a truck that I bought brand spanking new. None of my used equipment, even the trucks that I have now, have never had powertrain issues. Fuel pump, tie rod, shit like that, hubs, tires, brakes, shit like that. No, nothing major. Trucks are getting maintained. They're getting their PMs on time. They're not, and these guys are hard because it's not their trucks, but the level of maintenance that a guy who, is going OTRs over the road, like I've never seen these issues that I hear about. Granted, when I came in and I started buying trucks, my used trucks were 8 years old. So I wasn't held under the, what a lot of the trucks you guys buy now. I was buying old trucks with Caterpillar engines. Better engine. They don't even put those engines in box trucks anymore. When the government required the DEF system, the Caterpillar said, "No, we're out." They knew that system was going. It was just not going to work. That's why they said, "We're not going to put them. We're not going to go with the government on this. We're just going to cease operations." And this is why they stopped. But like those C6s, my favorite truck, never had an issue. So I think it was a combination of the engine, right? And just not having to put a lot of miles on those trucks. They were local. So lower wear and tear. Why? Because you're doing more short hauls, which reduces the repair costs and maintenance cost. Fuel costs way lower compared to OTR. Final mile lets you operate a lot leaner. You spend a lot less while your trucks are producing revenue. The revenue is similar. Similar. But it's less to run doing final mile. There's a trade-off. We're going to get to the trade-off because I know there's people thinking of what the trade-off is, and we're going to get to it. Let's should I get to it now or should I wait? Let's talk about the trends. Everybody's saying now, this is what everybody's complaining about now. Everybody's complaining about Amazon Relay is trash. Everybody is complaining about gigs, and this is across the board. This is not just in trucking. Even I see there's a whole thing now in social media. I think I talked about it yesterday. It was something with DoorDash or something like that. Just the gig app trend, the relay. Everybody, y'all know everybody's just complaining about OTR, whether it's semi-truck, box truck from an owner-operator perspective. Final mile is no complaining. I haven't seen one person complain about final mile. Not one. Not a one. And the people who are having issues with final mile, it's because of stupid shit that they're doing. And it's not the money issue. The reason why they're having issues is because they fuck up. They tearing shit up. They're not doing what they supposed to do. The money is there. It's there. It's steady. It's tied to essential goods and local commerce. It's not a trend. This is why I got so much backlash 3 years ago. It'll never be a trend. Because it's not popular, because the work that's associated with it, no one wants to do it, but everybody wants to make so much money. As a business owner, you should want to invest into the shit that people aren't talking about. That's where the money is. Now, you're free to go do what you want to do, but I still have to talk about it. I'm going to have my opinions on the niches, except my opinions are going to be supported with fact. It's not because these are my niches within box trucking. No, these are facts. You're never going to make more money in a box truck than a box truck that is moving household goods. You're not going to make more money OTR, and I'll debate it, doing OTR than a final mile box truck. Even grossing the same amount, the person that's doing final mile, they got the leverage on you because their expenses are not going to be exorbitant as yours. You're free to do what you want. I'm not doing like this is better than that. I'm just giving you the facts. Final mile is not for everybody. Now, let's get to the trade-off. I just want to get to it. It's physical. You're going to be lifting. You're going to be assembling if there's white glove associated with it. And you're working face to face with a customer. You're going into someone's home. There's a lot more liability there, right? Because you're responsible for not only just the freight, but you have to cross that threshold. More likely than not, crossing the threshold, going into the consumer's home. The longer you hold on to this item, the more opportunity it is for something to go wrong. But that's why it pays exceptionally well. That's the trade-off. You're going to need a second person. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. You're going to need a second person. Now, I've done a video, and I wonder if Jacoby is here, because Jacoby is probably my best mentee. And when I say mentee, it's because he just follows the channel. He's never bought a coaching call from me or anything. But he's a guy that transitioned from OTR to Final Mile when he found my content, and he's at 7 trucks. He's never came up and did a testimony or anything. He's in the Discord active. I think he's in here. But he can be a testimony to my blueprint. Just follow the blueprint. But you're going to need a helper. You're going to need a team. I've done a blueprint on how to structure and pay people for success. You're going to need the proper equipment. You're going to need a lift gate. You're going to need blankets. You're going to need dollies. You're going to need insurance, obviously. This is not just sitting and driving. This ain't that OTR shit. Shout out to the OTR people. But it's not as simple as, backing into a dock, loading and driving, and then backing into a dock and unloading. This live stream is solution-based. Not everybody can do it physically. If you watch my channel, I talk about a lot of the shit that I've gone through. Injuries, my shoulder is still fucked up. I talk about my shoulder all the time. It didn't happen in Final Mile, it happened with my moving company during the pandemic, but you're lifting shit. You have customers that buy shit, they see shit in the store, and then when you get to their home, you like, man, what you tweaking? Like, bro, you see customers will go in the store and they'll see this big extravagant shit, and then you come and they live in a goddamn studio apartment, right? So there's a lot of liability, there's a lot of risk, but the higher the risk, the higher the reward. All right, so you're going to need 2 people. If you can't handle that, you're not the person that I'm talking to. I'm not trying to sell anybody on anything. This is just a niche that you can make great money in, that, a lot of people don't know about or don't want to get into for these reasons. Shout out to Chauncey. Appreciate that super chat.
Sweet.
Shout out to there go J. Cole. There go J. Cole right there with the $100 super chat. I told you J. Cole get into a bag. Get into a nasty bag. Shout out to J. Cole. Appreciate that super chat. Shout out to D. Jenkins for that $50 super chat.
Sweet.
Here's what I'm gonna say to everybody that I see that's in this industry. That make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. You got like 105 people in here. There's plenty of things that you can do with your box truck. This is to the people that's complaining. OTR is not the only one. It's the easiest one. And that's why you have so much competition. If you want to do something that may be a little bit more financially rewarding, that does come with risk, But the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. There's other things that you can do. If you can't find another person to get started with you to go into big and bulky final mile delivery, then there's something that's called curbside delivery. Now, these options aren't plentiful. Curbside is less plentiful than big and bulky. This is something that I talked about very, very early on in my channel that a lot of people during that time weren't privy to, right? And there were plenty of opportunities available then. There aren't now. Why? Because the people that followed my blueprint and started transitioning out of OTR into curbside, they don't let those routes go because they're sweet. I got guys that start their day at 6, 7, they're done by noon, and they're working on a $700, $750 guarantee. I swear to God. But these are dedicated, palletized stops, one man. These guys aren't letting those routes go. That's why the turnover rate isn't that high, because it's sweet. You're home every day. You got a guarantee average, depending on market dependent, $700, $750 a day. It's just you, and you're just dealing with palletized freight. Do the math. So there's other options. I know moving is not for everybody. That's why I don't. And I know a lot of the guys want that moving content, but I'm going to probably do that moving content, and I'm going to stick it in members only, or I'm just going to continue to talk about moving. I talk a lot about moving in the Discord, but I see a level of desperation out here, and when people get desperate, they just do anything, and I don't like it. All right, so I'm going to reserve that content. All right, because then you run to me when somebody is suing you, you know what I'm saying, or whatever these issues that people be having when they be messaging me and shit like that. I can't save you from stupidity. If you want to go from down here to up here, you're not going to get good results. You're going to get horrible results, and it's going to end up costing you in the long run. All right, final mile is not sexy. This ain't that clickbait shit that your favorite people push on you. This is why you don't see a lot of it. It's not sexy. But I believe it's the best niche for box truck owner operators who want longevity. And they want stable cash flow and room to scale without, the gamble of freight rates and oversaturation in the market from a spot market perspective, and even oversaturation now from the gig apps. Like, I don't even understand why a person would start a business and bank on a gig anything. It's gig. It's just like you got a band that you're not signed. You trying to get signed, and you still work a job, and this guy at the hole in the wall bar down the street books your band for a gig. Here, I'm going to give you guys $100. I need you to come play for 3 hours tonight. You're happy that you booked the gig because it's going to put you out in front of an audience to get your name out. It doesn't pay you exceptionally well. It's just something to supplement. Hence, gig. You can't build a business around something that you can't control. You have to treat your box truck like a real business. If your business is suffering and you have a box truck, you already got the tool. I see so many box truck business owners that are willing to die on the sword doing OTR, then attempt to transition and give something else a try because they don't want to do any work. When you become a business owner, you have to meet the needs of the business. And that's it. If I was a struggling business owner, let's say if I was coming in now and I was just struggling with OTR for whatever reason, I would be willing to give anything a try to save my business. I wouldn't be the person that complains that I don't want to lift shit. It infuriates me when I hear a 20-something-year-old or a 30-something-year-old young, capable, able man, and we've seen them come up on a call-in show, nah, man, I ain't trying to lift nothing. Now, when it comes to the older guys, I'll show them a little bit more flat because that's a little bit understandable. But we see this from the 20-something-year-olds and the 30-something-year-olds. Like, I'm not trying to hear that shit. If you're not willing to save your business and you're fit, capable, and able, I just don't see you being successful. And this is why you're in the situation that you're in and you're failing. You're not willing to go above and beyond to get your business to the next level. It doesn't mean that you need to stay there forever. But if you're not bringing in enough revenue to keep the business afloat, like, who are you to say what you're not willing to do? And I understand that's the culture now with a lot of young people. Like I said, I'm a Generation X. I was born in 1980, right? So I understand the culture now. I was watching a video the other day. A guy was saying he would rather live in his car or live in his van or some shit than go out and work a job and slave for the system on some Daniel shit. Listen, that's some of the most ignorant shit. But you see a lot of people spewing this rhetoric, bro. I'm never going to put living in a car over something that's going to provide me some level of stability in life and or in business. Like, I'm not finna go live in no fucking car. If a job is willing to pay me $50,000, then I'm going to have to start there and try to work my way up. I'm going to live within my means. I'm going to go rent a studio apartment or fucking rent a room. If it's just me, I'll go rent a room or go rent a studio apartment, right? And I'm going to thug it out from there and build from there. I'm not going to limit myself to living in a car because of this woke mentality. But this is the same mentality of the people that you see coming into business today. And it's just not the young generation. I starting to see this from older people too. And then we wonder why the failure rate in this industry is 90%. There's a lot of variables on why it's the failure rate and the success rate are so, that gap is so far apart. This box trucking shit is not that hard. It's really not. Once you understand business and you teach yourself business, box trucking is really easy. There's a level of work that's associated with it that just people don't want to do. And it's not the physical aspect. It's also the mental shit as well. The information is there. We're living in, what is this, 2025? Information is out there. You can go get it for free. So you can't blame it on gatekeeping and shit like that. I tell people a lot of shit. Majority of people disagree with it. There's a small percent of people that disagree with it. But at the end of the day, it's the information. It's up to you to take the information, do your due diligence, and see if it works, see if it fits for you. And if it does, apply it. But applying it comes with the level of work. I'm going to take some questions, man. Then I'm going to get out of here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Got 100 people. Are we on TikTok? Not TikTok. What's that other shit that I did? What's that shit I got? Twitch. Yeah, we got some people on Twitch. And we got somebody on Facebook. Cool. All right, let me take a few of these questions. Appreciate all those super chats. Anton says, that's me, palletized one man, $500 to $600 a day, guaranteed home by 2 every day. There you go. See what I'm saying? Chauncey says, those final mile cargo claims can ruin your contract fast, or I think he meant contract fast. Those appliances are expensive. That's all dependent on your training. High risk, high reward. High risk, high reward. You got people, and this goes back to the people that I said, the people that I only hear complain about final mile, they never complain about it for the reasons that people that run OTR complain about, market fluctuations and brokers and shit like that. They complain because of some shit that they did. I mean, even the people that complain about OTR, some shit that they did, right? Because, they're not running lean, they don't know their costs, so on and so forth. But I'm speaking for as far as some shit that they did as far as negligence. Are you laying your runners down? Are you wrapping the items? Have you been trained efficiently? I keep using this person as an example because she's in my Discord, which is strange to me that you're in my Discord, but you don't watch the content. And there's another guy that like, I don't understand. Like, you have this blueprint, but yet and still you want to cut corners. When you're in final mile or you're in moving, you cannot cut corners. You need training. You can't come from OTR. And this is the mistake that people make. You can't come from OTR and never done any household anything, moving, delivery, and think you're going to get it right off the bat. This is where a lot of people mess up at. There's a science to it. You need training. How do you get a refrigerator through a door? We reacted to another content creator's content 2-3 months ago. I'm not going to name his name. But there was just a bunch of excuses on why he couldn't get the refrigerator, and his solution was lifting it up over the counter. He only had to only thing he needed to do was turn the refrigerator sideways and take off the doors. Now, what if he would have attempted to go over the counter? Yeah, there would have been damages. It's ridiculous. No training. People mess up because they're not trained. They don't go out and seek the training. The 3PL doesn't care. Why? Because the shit rolls downhill. The retailer isn't going to pay it. You deliver me a washer and dryer, and I'm in the industry. You just think I'm some old goofy customer because most of the customers just goofy customers. They don't know. Little do you know, I've been in this industry for years. So I'm paying attention to the shit that you don't even know I'm paying attention to. I'm watching you from the moment you pull up. When you call and say you downstairs, I'm not buzzing you in on the intercom and letting you up. I'm telling you I'm coming downstairs. Anytime I get anything delivered, I go downstairs. I want to see the whole process because I already know how the game is played. I know about the markers. I know about everything. I know how to position shit. All right, man, turn it this way. So the straps is this way. So, man, we fucked this shit up. Damn. All right, I'm going to put it in. We're going to push it in. We're going to turn it that way real quick. Just stay on the right side of me so they don't see the dent. And we're going to, like, I know all that shit. I know all the tricks. I'm coming downstairs. All right, I'm going to be down. I'm watching you the whole way. Nah, man, I saw you do that, pimp. I don't want it. So you don't want it? Nah, I'm declining to deliver. I don't want it. Send it back. Somebody gonna pay for that refrigerator. The retailer ain't gonna pay for it. The 3PL ain't gonna pay for it because you signed off on it before you left the dock in the morning. The moment it goes on the truck, it's your responsibility. So the damage happens somewhere from when you put it on the truck until offloading to make the delivery. So the negligence is on you. Were you using the proper equipment? Did you have your straps? Were you using an appliance dolly? Did it call for an appliance dolly or did it call for straps? Did you take the doors off? Did you do a walkthrough? Did you lay runners down? Are you strong enough to be handling this shit? You just might not be strong enough. You may be strong enough, but then your partner may not be. So when things happen, those claims, yeah, negligence. It could be your very first day, and I give the same example. I order a $3,000 LG wash tower, and you deliver it to me, and I refuse it because it has a ding on it. That's a $3,000 claim. That's coming out of your settlement. Absolutely. not your insurance. Because if you have a good broker, your broker is going to tell you, nah, you need to, you got to take this hit. I'm not filing a claim for $3,000. You're a business owner. It's the big leagues. We only file claims for the big shit. One claim I've ever had to file. One. Out of all the years, one claim, $55,000. Every other claim, whether it be $3,000, $5,000, $2,500, whatever it was, a floor, I paid it out of pocket. That one claim that I did file for $55,000, you know what happened to me? They didn't renew the policy. That was the 1 year I had to go with Progressive. When they didn't renew the policy, I had to go with Progressive for a year because it wasn't enough time to shop. And I had to thug it out for a year at the highest premium I've ever paid. So you're right. I know what it's like to have claims being in the moving and final mile delivery business. It's going to happen. The key is to keep the claims far and few between. It's inevitable. It's going to happen, especially if you're at scale. If you're a guy at scale like me, it's going to happen. That $55,000 claim, stupid as shit, you can get a claim for. But guess what? I wasn't there. I wasn't driving a truck. Patch and paint, I can't tell you how many walls I've had to patch and paint. Simple fix. Floors are what scared me throughout my career. Floors. But I can tell you this, if you keep the claims far and few between, when a claim does happen, you've made so much money since the last claim, it doesn't really affect you. You're expecting it to come. And when one doesn't come for a while, you start to get nervous. Like, damn, I ain't had a claim for a while. Man, I hope this next one ain't going to be a real big one because, man, I've been on the street. I remember I had like a streak, like maybe 4, 5, 6 months and shit like that where no claims. And I started to get nervous because I'm like, damn, this is a decent little streak. But yeah, I mean, claims is just part of the business when you're, especially at scale. I had a claim. It wasn't even a claim. It didn't get a chance to be a claim where we had a direct contract with a powder coating company here. Well, they're not in Chicago. They're outside Chicago, but they dealt with us directly, and we would do pickup and deliveries for them, right? Powder coating, mostly wrought iron patio furniture. But it was a house that was getting rehabbed, and it was an older house, and it had radiators in it. So the contractors, took the radiators out the floor, and then on one of the stops, obviously these radiators had to get loaded into the truck and go to the powder coating place. But the house was under rehab, it was an older house, and when they were bringing one of these radiators down one of the second floor bedrooms, the stair gave. So you got my two guys that are coming down a house that's being rehabbed, older house, and this with the weight of the two guys and that old ass radiator, one of my guys went through the stair. Clearly injured himself. Luckily, it was towards the bottom, so he didn't fall too deep. The radiator kind of fell on his leg. He was down. The owner of the home, his concern was the stair. My concern was my guy. And he said some pretty harsh and nasty things to me being the smart business guy that I am. I said, look, this is how this works. I said, I have an injured guy. Well, that's your problem. I said, on the contrary, it's our problem. No, that's your problem. He works for you. I said, you're correct. He does work for you. For me, in my company, and he was working for my company, providing a service for you on your property. I think you should let me worry about my guy and you worry about your stair. Your place is under construction anyway. It's getting rehabbed anyway. So why are you complaining to me about a stair in a house that's currently being rehabbed and threatening me? I think you should let me worry about my guy and you worry about your stair. This white guy, uppity, well-to-do, one of these ritzy suburbs. I think he was out in Hinsdale. But that was a claim that I talked myself out of, and, rightfully so, because we both could have been hit with a pretty good hefty lawsuit. So when you're carrying shit and you're lifting shit, claims are going to happen. It's just a part of the business. It's not something that I would, worry about. You just have to be prepared for them. And you can reduce them by training people really, 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 really well. Let me see. Shout out to Rich. What's going on? Shout out to Sage. Who else? People don't want to do that labor and installation. A lot of people don't want to do a lot of shit. You got people now that don't want to do Grubby Hub and DoorDash. People today just don't want to do shit. This is what separates the haves from the have-nots. This is what separates the haves from the have-nots. The people who go out and they go above and beyond, those are the haves. And the people who just want things handed to them to sit around and complain, those are the have-nots. The people that are willing to do the work that pays a lot more because there may be a little bit more work associated with it on the physical side, those are the people that are going to ultimately get to the promised land a lot quicker than the people who ultimately want easy work and they want to compete in oversaturated markets because of the level of ease. I'd rather go compete in a less saturated market and deal with the more work for the bigger payout. Because now I can take that money and I can invest it into things and use that money to make more money with, and I can get out of this situation a lot faster than the person who's competing to get by. Can I do small jobs after my shift doing moving? I do food service. I think if you're going to transition to moving, I would recommend doing just small jobs, odds and ends, nothing major, no full house, nothing like that. Small little odds and ends. There's plenty of jobs where a person, let's say, will list something on Craigslist. I need 20 boxes moved from point A to point B. I know one opportunity we had was law firms, bankers boxes. You know what I'm saying? You always get law firms called. They'll need bankers boxes moved from one firm to another, or a firm to the court buildings downtown because they were working on a case, or whatever the case may be. So one case could be 30 bankers boxes. And, I remember we'd just get the call and I would send a van or I send a truck to go pick up the boxes. It's just some of the easiest work ever. So there's plenty of opportunities to do, small odds and end jobs to make some extra money. Moving company also say he's entertaining the idea of Final Mile. Anton said Final Mile came in the clutch for him. Haven't looked back since. It's good, man. Still going for Midwest driver doing Final Mile. A driver doing Final Mile? Are you talking about from a big and bulky or a curbside perspective? How is AIT logistics in Illinois? AIT is plenty of opportunity, right? Because they acquired a lot of companies. The pay, it all depends. I know we were doing Select Express. This is before AIT acquired it. People always complain about Select Express as far as those rates, but AIT, as far as opportunity, I would put them up there on the Final Mile side, similar to an XPO. Not as big as XPO because they're not as big as XPO, but they have plenty of accounts. Shout out to Cal the exec. Where you been at, pimp? Ray said cargo van or box trucks. I mean, if you're not in the industry, I would always say start off small and work your way up. You know what I'm saying? How much do you think I can ever? All right. Let me see. All right, I said I'm gonna answer one more, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Man, I got my boss on direct IKEA contract doing roadie on my off day. Hope the money will be better outside of 3PL. 687 recession proof is the exact phrase I always tell people when talking logistics. So what's up? Paul says, man, you the Mark the Mentor, you're the first one to find out. Yeah, so during that time when all the content creators were in the space, everybody was talking on Amazon, really, and OTR. I was the first final mile guy. So I guess I am. You got to credit me for being the first final mile guy. Yeah, you're right. I never thought about that, Paul Smith. I'm going to start saying that. I know that gets people mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get some people mad. I'm going to start saying I was the first final mile guy. You one of the people that's been around for a minute. Remember I used to go to war over the fire. People used to make fun of Big Mark. They used to make fun of Big Mark. Well, guess what? Who was the winner? Final mile going to always be around. It's going to always be around and ain't going nowhere. You're going to always need an appliance. And I speak more so on the appliance side because furniture, that's not as necessity driven as like a person can live without a living room set. If they had to, they could live without a living room set more so than they could live, more so than a refrigerator or a stove, right? I think appliances are more a necessity. So I speak from the appliance side, but there's a lot of good opportunity in furniture as well. But yeah, people are always going to need this stuff. They're always going to need it. Here's Ben. Not discouraged exactly more. I was unrealistic of my expectation. You were unrealistic, you mean, of my expectations of what box trucking was. I'm guilty of treating this with a side hustle mindset. Looking forward to today's live about Final Mile. Yeah. So, contrary to some of your favorite people about, a side type of thing or a passive income, that's what they say. There's nothing passive about it. There's work. Especially what you're doing, I think your OTR, there's work. You have to source the loads and you have to do the driving. What's passive about that? How is that passive? Even if you put a driver in there, where is it passive at? You still have to find and source the opportunity. There's work that's associated. Where's what's passive? And this is, and people, you got to start using your common sense when you consume information from people that dress shit up to make the shit sound good. Passive is me putting 10 grand into Amazon and just letting it sit there for 10, 15 years. And that's passive. Why? Because I just put it there. And once I put it there, that's it. I don't have to go look at it every day. I don't have to touch it. I just leave it there. And over the period of time, as long as that company continues to go in an upward trajectory and make smart business decisions, which I'm sure that particular company will, I'm going to make money without having to do anything. The only work that's associated with it is putting it there and then taking it out. What's passive about a box truck or trucking? Anybody that tells you from an influencer perspective that it's passive is finesse to get you to buy into whatever they're selling. Even if you're not on the truck, you got to look for loads. You got to hire dispatchers. There's a level of communication daily because it's a daily thing. Where is it passive at? I don't see where it's passive. Even when I came off the truck, when I was scaling and I came off the truck and was sitting in the office, I was working harder than when I was on the truck. This shit hurts way more than my hips and my knees at the end of a moving day or a final mile route. Managing X amount of people and X amount of trucks and the issues that come along with the personalities of the people in the office, and then the 3PLs, this shit is more draining than the physical work. So even from a scale perspective, oh man, I'm just gonna get all these trucks and I'm just gonna lay in the shade. No, you're gonna work 10 times harder than when you was out in the field working your damn self. You're managing a fleet of trucks and a fleet of people with different personalities, their problems that they're having in their personal life, plus the problems that they're occurring while they're working for you in your business, plus everything that you need to make sure that these guys are working, sourcing opportunities, plus your own personal problems that you having in your life. So where is the passive? There's no passive. The most passive that I've ever had is putting money somewhere and leaving it there and not going and looking at it. I was just talking to a homie. He was talking about something last week when we was on the phone, and I'm like, damn, I got money locked up over there too. I've had money locked up over there since 2001. I forgot about. That's passive. When you invest into things and you ain't looked at this shit in 4 years, and somebody says something, and then you remember that, damn, you know what? I locked money into that shit in 2021. I ain't looked at that shit since. I wonder how much money I got over there. That's passive. Having a portfolio, a real estate portfolio, and your portfolio is big to the point where you have a property management group managing your portfolio properties for you, and you're paying them 10% or whatever the deal is. And then every first of the month, you just see ching-ching in your bank account. That's passive. You're not dealing with the day-to-day. You've acquired a property management firm to handle all the issues. Only don't call me. If it's under $1,000, just fix it. If it's over $1,000, call me to get the clearance. If it's a toilet leak, y'all, yeah. Anything over $1,000. That's passive that's more passive than something that you're having to do and deal with on a daily. So there's no passive about it, Ben Bauer. So yeah, I'm sorry that, you had that expectation, but unfortunately, this is not what it is. You're going to have to thug it out now, big dog. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Shout out to Sir. Appreciate you. Row Run says, you are really the first final mile guy. Those videos are hard to find. Yeah. It's just not a popular thing. A lot of people don't want to do it. And I understand why, but the people that have listened to me that are willing to go above and beyond, like your J. Colby's and some of the other people. I just always say J. Colby because he's as far as scaling, as far as the success level, he's probably the top. The people that have found that content that were struggling, like J. Cole, that switched And then there's another guy that watches me. He you don't really see him in the comment. I think he watches from afar. I see he puts out more content on Instagram. Jay Alexander. I think he called in on one of the call-in shows. He's doing really, really well. And find him out. I think he just put a post. I think he's up to 3 or 4 trucks now. And then he put a post up the other day. He just went and bought him a white G63. Yeah, he just went and bought him a white G63. And he's up to what, 4 trucks now? I think 3 or 4 trucks. Yeah, he was over the road, and then he credits finding my channel to making that transition. The guys that are willing to put in the work, they'll tell you it's not popular. But if you do what you're supposed to do, the results are there. Shout out to Jonathan in the building. Shout out to 25 to Life Radio. Can you start with one truck? Absolutely. That's the best way to start. That's the best way to start. One truck. And then we're going to get into scaling. You know, I was thinking about touching on scaling this week. I think I'm going to wait maybe another week or two. Some things that I want to incorporate into the content prior to getting to scale. I think a lot of people scale too prematurely. How would you lose that lawsuit? I wouldn't lose it, but here's the thing about lawsuit. People get so gung-ho on, like, a lawsuit is not something that's fun. I've been sued one time and it came from within. I told the story. I did a whole content piece on it. I showed everything, except the deposition. I showed the paperwork. It's not fun. When I went into that deposition, as I was getting shook down by somebody that I gave an opportunity to, I felt like I was being I felt like I was under investigation. You know, I'm sitting here, my law team is sitting on this side of the table. That person's law team is sitting on that type of the table, and then the third party who was included in the lawsuit, their lawyer is sitting on that end of the table, and then right here is the reporter, the lady that's typing everything up, but the guy that's sitting across from me, he's drilling me like I'm finna go to jail or something. I'm like, bro, don't you see the play here? This dude is a goddamn dope fiend. My law team already discovered this guy got like 5 other open lawsuits. This dude's suing Home Depot, Best Buy. He's suing 5 other people right now. This is a career suer. He just goes around, tries to find reason to sue people. But they got a job to do. So I'm sitting across it. That wasn't no, like, if like going through a lawsuit, if you can avoid it, avoid it. So that's why it wasn't, worth going through. Like, I'm not going to worry about your stairs. Like, you need to be worried about, I need to console this guy and cover his hospital bills. And luckily for me, if you follow my channel, it was Aaron. So you know who Aaron is if you follow my channel. He was my first real guy. He's the guy that actually I hired that really taught me how to maneuver furniture. So because he was with me from early on, when we were in my pickup truck, I had a rapport I had with him, and outside of his, outside of work habits, because if you follow the channel, you know Aaron was an alcoholic. He was a good guy. He was one of the guys that I never sensed jealousy or envy from. He was just a genuine guy. He just was dealing with his own shit outside of work. So he didn't, suing me and suing the homeowner wasn't. I took care of him, obviously, and made sure he was straight. The time that he needed off, if he needed anything, I made sure I took care of him. And when he was ready to come back to work, I prioritized him. It could have went worse, but like, I'm trying to prevent that shit from happening, bro. Like, getting sued, especially from an employer, that's not fun, bro. It's not cool. So, it wouldn't have been an easy win for me because I didn't have no reason to sue. Yeah, it would have been an easy win for Aaron, but if I can alleviate that from happening by just taking care of them, then that's the better option from a business perspective. So, all right. Can't wait for the scaling content. I do hot shot work, and I'm currently looking to scale. Yeah, I'm gonna get into scaling because somebody reached out to me yesterday in the Discord, and I just think people just have like this guy Ben Bauer was saying. I think the expectations that people have when they come into business, especially this business, from scaling, they don't understand how scaling works, and I'm speaking from a revenue perspective. I'm gonna say this as a teaser. You know what? The one conversation when I was with Dynamics, I got 9 trucks running Office Depot Monday through Friday, and then I got 6 other trucks that are doing IKEA. Dynamics had both of these contracts at this time. They also had Granger and some other shit at that time. But I'm working Office Depot and I'm working IKEA. So I'm running 6 trucks 7 days a week IKEA, 9 trucks Monday through Friday, Office Depot. Never had any issues from a negotiation perspective with the IKEA, but the Office Depot, they always wanted to negotiate. Why? One, I got a guarantee. They wanted to always bring the guarantee down because the margins are very, very small, especially when you're dealing with those pieces. Pieces and furniture, 2 different things. So what people got to understand is with scalability, you're going to work on even tighter margins because you're going to have leverage, but the leverage that they have on you is, look, we're going to give you an opportunity to provide X amount of trucks, but we want a better rate. See, a lot of people think scaling means you charge more. Scaling means you charge less. You work on smaller margins because you're operating at scale. You're making your money at scale. The negotiation leverage that they're going to have is they're going to want a deal. So there's a guy who hit me up in the Discord yesterday, and he's giving me the scope of the amount of work that he's doing. And he's like, man, should I ask for more? And when I look at it, I said, no, you're doing good. Why? Because at that one truck, he's making decent money. If he brings on 4 trucks and he negotiates a guarantee, they're going to want a better deal. And I think right where he's at right now is what they'll be looking at. You have to leave room for negotiation as well. You also have to keep in mind that your employees, as time goes on, they're going to want to make more money. So you have to have that room there as well. When I was running Office Depot, I was working on a 33% margin, which is really, really good. But that only equated to a little bit, about $100, sometimes a little bit less a day, profit per truck. But that's times 9. Some people will look at $100. That's it. That's it. But that's times 9. Margins are a lot better on the other side when we're doing the furniture, right? But some days I would make less. Make some trucks might make $75. It's cool. I had contracts with we're doing Container Store. I was running that shit damn near break even at a loss. Just so that we can keep all the other contracts within selects that were more profitable where the margins were better, like Bye Bye Baby and Crate and Barrel. So here's this contract Mike couldn't get anybody to do because it only paid $11 a stop, but I got the margins to run it at a loss. Keep the relationship. Yeah, we'll take it. Gonna put a little Tyler on that, get him off the street because he out there drilling anyway. He can't mess this up, Man, go to the Container Store, pick all these closets, shelves, and sneaker shoe boxes up, and go drop this shit off to High Rises downtown. I give him the full $11 a stop, and I take the losses on the operations from the fuel and the van and all that other shit perspective. It's cool. But we got all these bye-bye babies. We got all these crate and barrels where I'm making profit for that one particular account over there, and then I'm just deducting it from the profits that we're making over there. So it still makes sense for me. This is scale. This is how you play the game. A lot of people don't understand that when I have conversations with them, because they want to come in, they think they want to make all this exorbitant money. This is why I say read Made in America. It has nothing to do with trucking, but you'll understand what I'm talking about. The scale game is a numbers game. And you have to know how to play the game. So yes, I will run this one account every single goddamn day at a loss to maintain the relationship, because I got other contracts that I'm running for the same 3PL that I'm profiting. And we can afford to run this at a loss as a favor and keep this person happy, because I'm making so much money over here. So when that guy hit me yesterday, I said, you're doing good. This is good. What do you expect to make? If you scale another 5 trucks, you're probably going to be making about $40 less, $50 less on a run. So right now you're good. You're making almost $200 a day profit. You scale up, that second truck, you're paying 2 people. This is $190 a day with you on it. You add that second truck, you're not on it. You're going to be making probably about $100, $120, $130 less. So now we have to find a contract where it's going to pay you good enough to include 2 people, the cost of operation, and for you to profit at least $100 to $150. So, but I got a blueprint. And if you follow it, you'll be successful. Final Mile is a young man's game, and because of that, I'm out. I understand. Shout out to Dante for that $50 super chat.
Sweet.
Dante says, appreciate the content today. Appreciate you for that super chat. Shout out to everybody that left those super chats. I think it was Dante, J. Cole, D. Jenkins, and Chauncey. Appreciate all those super chats. Shout out to Box Truck Buddha in the building. Shout out to everybody from the crib that's in here. Box Truck Buddha says gems. Appreciate that super chat.
Sweet.
All right, look like we got 115 people in the building. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. It's time for me to hit the gym so I can get back in the house. I appreciate everybody for tuning in today. I'll be back. Hold on. What up, Mark? Love your channel, big bro. I always wonder if age would play a part in being successful in Final Mile Spec. I'm 46, by the way. I might be a little bit too old. You know, that all depends, man. Depends on if you physically fit. If I had, and this is a conversation I had with a young guy who was watching the stream Saturday, the guy who kept dropping all those super chats. He said, Mark, I don't believe if everything failed and you lost everything today, you wouldn't get back on the truck. You're too smart for that. Hypothetically, if everything failed and I couldn't find anything else to do to use my brain, I was just forced in the situation. Me physically, could I do Final Mile? Yes. Would I feel the same way at the end of the day at 45 than at 30? Absolutely. When I go to the gym, this is I go to the gym twice a day. I work out in the morning in the gym in my building, and then I go to LA Fitness in the evening. Right. I gotta get out the crib, right? So when I work out, I feel it. When I do squats, like them hips, I feel them hips. Them hips, it's tight. You know what I'm saying? You're getting older. I could do it because I'm active every day, right? If you're not an active person, then probably not. If I had to jump into Final Mile tomorrow, because I know how to do it and because I'm active daily, because I work out aggressively, then yeah, I could do it. If you're just not active, then probably not. Your hips are gonna be stiff. You're not gonna be able to put them straps on and squat. You're not gonna be able to twist and turn to get some of this shit in. Probably not. But 45, 46 is not old, bro. It's not that old, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a guy that was working for me in his 50s. His name was KT. And I'm not bullshitting you. He was better than, out of all the people that I hired over all the years, he was top 5. He was just one of those guys that was, he did a stint. So fitness was just, innate in him, and he just had a natural build, naturally fit, and he was just a dog. They don't make him like that no more. So I don't really think age, it depends on where you are in your health journey and physically. If you're just one of them people that just don't work out and you just let age catch up to you, then no, it's going to be difficult. I ain't going to hold you. But I wouldn't say you too old, bro. Pookie was trolling me. He said 4 plates. Pookie, I've lifted 4 plates on the stream before. Like, why do you think 4 plates is really heavy, bro? It's heavy, but I can lift it. I can't get it up 10 times, but I can get it up 4. Like, why do you think I can't lift 4 plates, bro? Like, you make like 215 pounds, like, what you think, I'm Kirk or some shit like that, bro? You think I'm Kirk? I've done it before on the stream. Like, come on, bro. Like, stop tweaking. I'm in the gym every day. I was actually in the gym working out on Kirk's channel the other day. I'm not no weak person. I'm moving in Final Mile, bro. I'm not. Come on, bro. Stop playing with me. Yeah, tweaking. Like, now you may not be able to lift them. I can lift them. All right, so boom. Yo, Mark, Discord later. I have one more drop. I mean, I'll open the chat up, but I'm finna go to the gym, so I might not. I'll be listening in. I'll open it up after the live stream, but I'm finna get it in, pimp. I'm finna get it in. I'll open it up after the live stream. I am Joe said, Mark, no trolls in here today. Nope. No trolls today. I think trolls just come in when I do things to trigger them. I didn't do a triggering topic today. When I do triggering topics, I expect people to be in their feelings, and like, I understand the landscape of content creation. I do things purposely. But when I do the cheap freight, or if I do the what was the other one I did, the $5,000 one, that's how I really feel. But I set it up in a way, and I present it in a way where I know it's going to trigger. If you see the day I didn't curse, I didn't really get aggressive, because this is something that is more, everything is informational, but it's not something that is triggering, right? As those topics are. So I know those topics are triggering, so I present it in a way to trigger you. I'm going to be more aggressive. I'm going to curse. I'm going to dare you to click the link. I'm going to make sure the title triggers you. I'm going to make sure the thumbnail triggers you. And I'm going to get into full trigger mode when I present it. Today is just didn't call for that. So therefore, you're not going to have nobody that's going to get emotional They heart ain't gonna get moist, and then they gonna come in here and get the trolling. Like I know when the trolls. I know what I'm doing. It's done purposely. So it says it's not one of the ones. I think I am Joe. I think you a troll, low key. I think you a borderline troll. I think you a borderline troll. And the reason why I say borderline is because you appreciate the content, but you like to borderline troll, and you do it in a way where you wait for me to get the message out and then you come in at the end. You respect the content, because I've seen you talk, and speak of me in a level of respect on another channel. And then over here, you wait to after I present my lecture to do it. So you're what I consider a borderline troll. And like you said, you do it sometimes when you're bored. What I don't understand is, why do it at all? Why do it at all? What why do it? That energy could be exuded into something that's more beneficial. You could exude that energy into something that's a little bit more beneficial. So everything is done. If I present something that's triggering, I'm gonna present it in a tone, my tonality. I'm gonna present it with aggression. It's something that I master. I understand content creation. Now, listen to this. I understand that when I do those topics, how it affects people, and I know that people don't like hearing that shit because their mindset is not the mindset of mine or the people that align with me from a business perspective. And if you look, people will come and they'll leave. When I talk like I do today, the room can get to 120, 125 people. I understand all that. But at the end of the day, the message still has to be sent. I'm in a position where I can speak what's on my mind and people will respect my opinion. Even if they disagree with it, they'll respect it. I'm not here to appease. Like, you have some content creators, they want everybody to like them. I don't really care. I understand that in order to be successful, you have to be authentic, and you're gonna have people that don't like you. I think the people that want everybody to like them is why they have a hard time growing their channel, because they don't speak what's really on their mind. They care. It doesn't affect me. So appreciate you. I know. I can read through all the BS. I can read through it. A little off topic, but are you going to do any other books? Yeah, I'm working on another book right now. Hopefully I'll have it done maybe in another week or two. But I'm working on another book right now. I just it's hard to write a book, try to do daily content, and then do the video content, and then I'm still preparing for this marathon, so that's why I'm training twice a day. I haven't been eating out because I've been, cooking food because of the training for the marathon. So my diet, my nutrition, and then, having a significant other, my chick, having to give her some time and shit like that, running out to see my OG, making sure she's straight. So hopefully I can have it done in another week or two. But yeah, I've been working on another book for about the past month, about 2 months now. Shit, it's August 1st tomorrow, so it's been about 2 months. Alt season is on the way. You still holding your bags? All right, cool. Congratulations. I sold a lot of my bags last year. A lot of the shit that I was in took a major dump. So I sold not all the way at the top, but close. Like Fetch was my biggest bag, and that shit got to like 350. That shit is 60 some cents today. So, you know, if let's say that runs back up, I don't think it's gonna hit its all-time high last year. Honestly, I think what we saw last year was a reverse cycle. I think those were the highs as far as the alts. I could be wrong. Maybe layer ones are doing a little bit better, but like that niche, that's more of a niche because it's AI. I don't think it's going to top what it did last year. I remember you called out Jasmine and Solana. Yeah, I sold Solana. I sold Solana at $200. I bought Solana at $8 or $18. So I made my money. If it runs up again, cool. But, and this is where people get messed up at, greed. If I buy Solana $8, $18, whatever I bought it in 2022, and I continue to dollar cost averaging aggressively, I sell at $200, I made my money. Like, I'm not going to hold on this shit because now it went down, and then no, I don't want to be the person left holding the bag. Greedy pigs get led to the slaughter. I was buying Fetch at what, 7 cents? I saw that shit at like $2.70, some shit like that. $2.50. Like, do the math. I had 100,000 of them. So imagine if I had held on to all them Fetch coins and that shit hit 350 and that shit is at 68 cents today. I'd be kicking myself. Oh, you buy low and you sell high. You don't hold on forever. You take that money, you reinvest it into other things. So I made my money. I understand from the early cycles of when I first started to invest that holding or hodling, greedy pigs get led to the slaughter. So I learned to take profits. If I see a significant upswing, I'm gonna take my money. So my altcoin season was January through March of 2024. So, do you still offer stock market tips on what to buy? I haven't did that content since last year. I probably won't do that type of content again until maybe another 3 years. Yeah, well, not 3 years, but another 2 years around the next run. See, the thing is, when I present that type of content, I'm gonna present it when it's not volatile, when it's only upswing, right? Because I know people are ignorant and I understand influence. I know I have influence and I know people are just going to do it just because I say I'm doing it. I'm not going to do it when understanding my influence when I understand it's volatile. If I know something is just going to go up for a specific amount of time because I'm buying it, I'm talking about it in a bear market, then that's one thing. But in a volatile market, I'm not going to do it because I'm not with you 24 hours a day. You heard me mention it in a live stream 2 days ago, but you didn't know at 1 o'clock in the morning I sold. So if that shit goes down the next day in the middle of the afternoon, you come like, damn, Mark, I heard you mention this. I bought this the other day. Man, so man, me and you fucked up. Nah, bro, I sold at 1 in the morning. I got out. So that's why I'm socially responsible and I understand my influence that I'm not going to talk about things that a person is just going to do, and I'm not there to hold your hand. Because I don't want you coming back blaming me. When I was doing that content, it was a bear market going into a bull market, and there was only an upswing, and I told you when I started to divest. I said, I'm out. I'm divesting. I bought this at this amount. It's here. I bought this here. It's here. I bought this here. It's here. I bought this here. It's there. My first entry into crypto, I bought here. It went here, but I didn't know no better, thinking that shit gonna run forever, and it came back down here. Nah, never again. It only took me one time. If I see 1,000% or 15, some type of parabolic 500% gains, it's time to start taking profits. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why I trust me. Mark understands his influence. This is why I'm very careful on how I present and what I talk about. I'm not gonna say anything, because if I'm not there to hold your hand, then I'm not gonna talk about it, because I understand. I didn't know people went out when I was talking about Solana and shit then, that low key people heard it and they went and did it, until 3 months later when that shit started to run and they said, man, I heard you mention this in the live stream. I went and bought some after. Man, that was a good call, man. What else you got for me? That's when it dawned on me that, damn, I got an influence out here. And this was a year and a half ago. I've probably gained 20,000 more subscribers since then. That was one of the turning points of me understanding my level of influence, because people are listening to what I'm saying and they're taking the information and applying it. I just don't know until they tell me. So I have to be careful with this. This is a power that I have to be careful with. So when I get up here and I start calling out people and I say your favorite content creators, I'm not just doing it to be funny. I'm doing it because I am socially aware of my influence, and I purposely don't mention and talk about things because I know that people will take it and run with it. And if I'm not there to hold your hand 24 hours of the day, I'm just not going to mention it. So. Has anyone experienced an increase in insurance? My guy insurance jumped from 16. Yeah, insurance is up. My trucks don't even move and my insurance is up. My insurance has gone up every year over the past, 2-3 years? On my commercial trucks and in my personal vehicles, my insurance is up. So I think across the board now. Appreciate you. I am Joe. Mark, your channel would grow a lot more if you clip takes that are worthy. The whole idea you're this guru with no factual information about you just makes people question you. Mark, your channel would grow a lot more if you clip takes that are worthy. Clip takes that are worthy. The whole idea of this guru, the whole idea you're this guru. Who gave you the idea I was a guru? I don't have that in my name. You never hear me say I'm a guru. If a person puts that in their head, that's their perspective of me. With no factual information, where isn't the information factual? I've given people blueprints and they've gone out and applied and they say it works. And then I have content with me in the field. I have content showing my journey from beginning to end. People just want me to point them in the direction. I'm not going to point you in the direction. It's in the content. Go find it. I never said I was no guru. Not one person I've ever heard me say, find me a piece of content when I say I'm this guru. If you put, and I'm speaking to you or whoever the people are you talking about, that's on them. Because I watch people in this space that do content and they don't call themselves a guru, but I hear them give false information and they're held to a higher regard than me. I think any person that does content is going to be under public scrutiny. The thing is, people want to know your personal business. That's what you're really trying to say. People want to know your personal business. They want to know what kind of car you drive. They want to know your address. They want to know what your chick look like. They want to know where your mama live. They want to know all this personal shit. They want to see the turn up. That's the level of credibility that they want. I've done live streams where I've showed some of my portfolios. I'll never do that shit again. You know why I did that shit? Because I was going through that phase of what you're talking about. to prove shit to people because I kept going through that when I first started doing content. I didn't prove, I didn't show my fucking taxes. Did you miss those live streams? You probably did. Am I going to continue to keep doing that to prove shit to strangers? Absolutely not. If I was 20 something years old, I might give a fuck. I'm fucking damn near 50, bro. I could give two fucks. Either you take the information or you don't. I don't give a fuck what you think. So I don't know what these clips are or what clips you grow a lot more if you clip takes that are worthy. I clip shit when I have time, bro. And here's the thing. Where are we at? 45,000 people in 3 years and 4 months. I think that's good. I think my channel consistently grows. I haven't had a slowdown in growth as far as channel growth since I came on. I've seen other channels that were growing that have stalled, that have peaked and just plateaued. I'm not trying to be this. I'm into box trucking. Well, I'm not going to be Anton Daniels. I'm not going to be the lead attorney. I'm not going to be JT Pocket Watcher. I don't make that type of content that's current events, urban culture based that attracts a wider audience because it's content that is happening because people want gossip and what's that shit called back when the older people, when we used to be at the grocery store to check out, what was those magazines like the National Enquirer? What was that shit called back in the day? Not gossip, but whatever that word was, that shit. Like, I don't do that type of content. That content is way more popular. Those channels can get millions of stuff. I'm in a small niche, box trucking, tabloids. That's another issue. People don't understand how to win. I can win at this because I see the landscape of the other people, and I understand that I am a lot more knowledgeable than a lot of people, and it's not a knock. They take it as a knock, but the proof is in the pudding. I don't give a fuck what you think. And I'm not speaking to you. I'm just speaking in general based off what you're saying. Because I never put the word guru on me. I just say my name is Mark. Here's the thing. Let's say I never ran a moving company or a final mile company. Let's just say, hypothetically. It's not true. Why? Because I proved it. But let's say I worked for one. And I consumed all this information over the course of X amount of years. And then I create a YouTube channel and I give you all this information from the information that I consume. And people go out and apply and it works. It's information that can help a person. What's the difference? This goes back to what I say as far as mindset. People consume themselves with the wrong shit. So I just got these trucks that I've done content on that are just sitting in a storage facility, which people know where the storage facility is, that I've done content in, that I've gone live when I feel like going up there, jump starting them and running them every fucking blue moon. I just bought these trucks for what? Goes back to what I said. You want to know about me. You want to know who I'm fucking, what I'm driving, where I live. And believe it or not, it's a conversation we was having in the Discord the other day. I'm just not that type of individual. I'm a private person. Um, and it's gonna stay that way. If you want the box truck information, then you can get the box truck information. If you run into me on the streets, you run into me in the streets. Like the people that have, like the subscribers that have that I've met, and then they'll tell you. If you want to know personal information about me, go ask Kurt. If you want to know personal information about me, go ask D Walk. You want to know personal information about what type of car I drive, go ask Big Vic. I am Joseph. How's that Chevy? I didn't pull up on him in that Chevy. I pulled up on him in something else, and I pulled up on Kirk in something else. D Walk in here, he'll tell you. Go ask Darrell. He watched the channel. I ran into him at he was with his girl, and I was with my girl. I ran to him at and I didn't know who he was. He said, "Man, I'm in your chat all the time." Darrell. I ran into him at what restaurant was that on Chicago Avenue? Start with a P. What the fuck is the name of that restaurant? I don't remember what the name of the restaurant. I ran into Darren. He's another subscriber that watches the channel. I ran into him at the fucking President's Lounge. Oh, Mark, you ain't in the street. Nigga, I'm on 75th in the President's Lounge. Fuck is you talking about? Man, I wouldn't expect to see. Why you wouldn't expect to see me? And nigga, I went to the V. That's the thing. People want to know your business. I'm out in the street. I've done content and shit. So I don't know like where this why you I don't give a fuck, to be honest with you. So I hope that that answer suits your fancy. Heard of the final mile to a 3PL truck rental program? New final mile. YouTube got me gas because the barrier to entry seems lower. What? Have you heard of entering into the final mile through a 3PL truck rental program? A new final mile truck rental program. I know JB Hunt was doing it like a couple years ago. I don't know if they still do it, but I know it exists. It's not something that was existed, in my time, but it exists. What do you want to know about it? The barrier to entry seems lower than ever. Why? Because you coming in with a truck through the rental company. Yeah, that will. Dante said Provari. Yep, that's it. Yeah, I ran into a subscriber in Provari at the next table. That motherfucker was looking at me and, man, you Mark. So like Big Mark ain't. I'm out here. I'm in these streets. Fuck, you want to see Big Mark? Nigga, get in the street. I think if they provide you a truck, yeah, I think that'll lower your entry cost because they provide you a truck. How would that work for you? I don't know. This is some new shit. The reason why they do that shit is to entice more people to come in. Clearly, there's a lack of people who want to come into this industry because they lack the resources, obviously that of a truck. So hey, we got these orders. We need this shit delivered. If we can provide the truck, they get the authority. We provide the truck. then we can meet the needs of our contracts with the retailers. So I think it's just it's something that some 3PLs are having to do in order to get the freight out. So of like 20 or 30. You said you ran into me at Planet Fitness? When was this? You couldn't have ran into me at Planet Fitness. I'm gonna see when you ran into me, and then I'm gonna know if you're a liar or not. When did you run into me at Planet Fitness? When? Because this is going to determine. Now you said it, so now you can't disappear now, because this is going to determine if you're a liar or not. When did you run into me at Planet Fitness? I want to see when this person said they ran into me at Planet Fitness. No, when? No, it ain't no hot minute. Last year, the year before last, the year before that, earlier this year, last week. When did you run into me at Planet Fitness? When did you run into me at Planet Fitness? You say you ran into me at Planet Fitness. When? I'm curious. When did you run into me at Planet Fitness? Everybody that watches my channel, I've done live streams from the gym. I was just on a live stream the other day. I don't go to Planet Fitness. That's a no judgment zone. They would kick me out of Planet Fitness. I can't go to Planet Fitness. They would kick me out. Not because I be lifting heavy and hollering and shit. I might do some windshield washers or some shit like that. You can't do that shit in Planet Fitness. That's they don't like that type of shit. You know, I might do some pull-ups with a weighted ball. You know what I'm saying? They don't like that shit, bro. You know, you can't do that there. That's a no judgment zone. That's for people that, you know, like to work on the treadmill and like to take up a machine and sit there and play on their phone and then do a set like every 15 minutes. And then in between that 15 minutes, they scrolling on their phone and then they go home. They don't got no sweat. they ain't bust a sweat. They ain't did nothing. I go to a gym that you can't take up a machine. If you sitting on a machine, you bullshitting, motherfucker gonna come to you like, hey man, how many more you got? That's the type of gyms I go to. You got to get in and you got to get out. You can't be holding up no machine, scrolling and shit like that. That's what Planet Fitness, and no shot to anybody that go to Planet Fitness, but I don't go to Planet Fitness. Nothing wrong with it, but I need better equipment, bro. Like Planet Fitness ain't got the equipment that I need. You know what I'm saying? There was a black man that looked like you at the one I go to. I named him Mark. Is he in Chicago? Are you in Chicago? Shower Step said, yeah, keep those fancy workouts at Crunch and Golds. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the gyms I go to, like you can't be sitting down holding up no machine, playing on your phone, bro. You could do that shit at Planet Fitness all day long. Go in there and run on the treadmill. They got a million treadmills. They got 1 million treadmills at Planet Fitness and limited workout shit. And I know he said he was joking. I'm talking to Shadow Step now. Yeah, I know he trolling. You know, you're gonna have some trolls, bro. You gotta have some trolls. You're gonna have some people that want to know all your personal business. I thought we got over that shit. I thought like we got through that shit already. Like, goddamn. How many people do I want to meet? Just say you want to meet me in public, and then I'll meet you. Like, how many more subscribers I got to meet in public? How many more people I got to take out to dinner, bro? Like, I thought we got past that. Dang, bro. Like, man, bro. Man, bro. Do I know how Final Mile is for Hub? No, never ran with Hub. Never ran for Hub. I don't even think Hub was doing Final Mile then. Can I do a book sign or a public meet and greet? Nope. I don't want to do no meet and greets. I'm not a celebrity, bro. I don't understand why content creators and trucking do meet and greets. Like, they uh fucking rap stars or some shit like that. I don't want to meet. Like, it's box truck content, bro. If you see me in the street, just chuck a deuce, like most people do. When I run into people in the grocery store, or I run into people at the gym, like, bro, like, just say what's up. Or like most people, when most people see me, like, man, I need your help, bro. Mark, I need your help. That's it, bro. I do box truck content, bro. Like, I'm not. No, I don't want to do that shit. Like, bro. Second of all, I'm from where I'm from. I don't like, you might be trying to line me up or something. Like, that's why when Buddy said that shit earlier, like, bro, I'm from where I'm from. Like, I have to move a certain type of way. If you a middle American, you ain't gonna never understand. So I live in Chicago. Motherfucker could be trying to line me up at anything, bro. Like, I don't know. Why would I like he said here? And I'm not gonna go into too much Daniel Huff. Is Huff a white last name or is that a black last name? That's a white last name, right? So this is why he probably don't understand. Daniel Huff is probably a Caucasian. And there's nothing wrong with being a Caucasian. He's probably a Caucasian from middle America. I live in Chicago. I'm not going to show you my every movement. What for? Why would I do that? I appreciate the fact that some people like the content. They may enjoy my personality. I may make you laugh and help you get down the road, but I'm not here to be no celebrity, bro. I'm just here to do content. I don't want to really meet you in public. I don't want to like hang out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do none of that shit, bro. The people that I do meet, if they message me, are people that I know that have been following the channel, and I know they intentions are good. Even still, nigga, I'm not gonna play with you. But like this mass majority of, I'm not finna do all that, bro. When I met Kirk here, when he came here those 2 times, I couldn't really kick it with him and like really enjoy uh the being out and shit like that, because I had to make sure that they was straight. They were here having a good time. I allowed them to enjoy the city, and I made sure that they were straight. I didn't, I took care of them, the whole way. They ain't have to go into their pocket or nothing. But at the end of the day, I still know my city. So somebody had to be on their square. It had to be me. Right? So I understand the landscape of the shit that I'm in, and I'm not going to put myself in a position where a motherfucker can line me up. Fuck, I want to host a barbecue for. I don't even eat meat. See what I'm saying? I don't want to host no barbecue. I don't even eat meat. You want me to do a Beyond or an Impossible barbecue? Do you eat Beyond or Impossible? Do you want to eat? We put some mushrooms, some deep fried mushrooms on the goddamn grill. uh, you said it must have been hard babysitting Kirk. Kirk was wilding. Kirk was off his square. Definitely, he was definitely off his square. Him, his mentee that was with him, and the broker that was with him. They was all off their square. I had to be on mine, and it's a lot more to that story, but I'm not going to put it out there. I mean, he divulged some of his personal information on another channel, but it's not my business to tell. But they was having a good time. I kept the 1942 flowing. See, that's what motherfucker want to see. They want to see that side. Nah, you ain't gonna. That's not what the channel consists of. I kept the 1942 flowing. Them niggas had a good time. When it was just a good time. Luckily, I was there. It was a couple situations did occur because they just didn't understand the landscape of the city, and I was there to intervene and make sure that they got back to where they came from safe. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, he was lit. But that's it was cool because he was here to have a good time. He was safe because I was going to make sure he got back safe. But yeah, he went, he's just having a good time. You say, was he off his square sober? I think he's just a happy-go-lucky person in general, to be honest with you. I just think he's a happy-go-lucky person in general. Shout out to Mikey B. Appreciate that super chat.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think he's a happy-go-lucky person in general. I mean, when I picked him up that day, yeah, he was happy before the drinks and the dinner, and then after we went to dinner, we had drinks, a nice dinner, then the nightlife. He was happy before. The alcohol just enhanced his excitement. You know what I'm saying? They was all happy. You know, for the fun, say on that car. Yeah, they don't know nothing about on that car. You need the protein from meat. It's funny. Box Your Buddha ain't gonna like it, man. I'm thinking about after a year and a half of being a vegetarian, I'm thinking about going back to meat. And the reason I'm going back to meat is not because I mean it's been a year and a half. If I want to continue on, I can continue on. I'm just like, bro, I'm tired. Like, I need some more options, bro. Like, I did a year and a half as a vegetarian. I don't feel any different. I haven't gained. I still fluctuate between 165 and 175. I haven't gained any more weight. I haven't lost any more weight. I'm literally between 165 and 175. It's been a year and a half. I don't feel any different. My poop ain't different. My skin ain't different. I'm the same, bro. Like, I'm running out of options of food. Like, I'm tired of eating sweet potatoes and Beyond and goddamn it, Impossible. Like, I need some more options. My chick be getting mad because we just can't go to any restaurant. We got to keep my diet in mind. That shit be blowing her. You dig what I'm saying? So, but ultimately, I'm just, it's like, bro, like I've been having a hard time. It seems like I'm just eating the same shit. I'm tired of eating sweet potatoes. I'm tired of eating black beans. I'm tired of eating goddamn it vegan tacos and goddamn fucking veggie burgers, and sweet potato fries and goddamn it lentils and couscous. I'm just tired of this shit, bro. I'm he says probably because I eat Impossible meat. Nah, it's just, bro, like, bro, it's not that many options for vegetarians. Like, You from Chicago, so if I go to Old Girl restaurant, I can't believe it's not meat. She got different options. Like I'll order from the one like in Hyde Park, but it's still like the same shit, bro. Or I order like from that restaurant, that vegetarian restaurant. They got like that fake ass Harold's. They call it Veros, where it's like deep fried mushrooms, but they'll use the mild sauce, like Harold's with a side of fries. It's like, bro, like it's the same shit, boy. Like some, I don't know. Like I gotta figure something else out, boy. But I'm thinking about going back to meat, bro. I know you're gonna be mad, Buddha, but unless you got some recipes for me, bro, like this shit crazy. It's been a year and a half, so you can't say I didn't do it. I did it for a year and a half. But I need some goddamn it, some chicken breast. I need some salmon, some goddamn it, shit. Some goddamn it, baked wings. I need some greens, man. Mama be cooking greens with the ham hock in it. I can't even eat the greens with the ham hock in it. I went over for Thanksgiving dinner. Shit. God damn it. I could only eat dressing. She had to pluck the goddamn ham hocks out of the goddamn greens. No turkey. Like, man, nah, bro. I'm running out of options here. I'm running out of options. I was paying. Can't believe it's not me. What's her name? Miss Fabricia. Is that who owned that restaurant? Bro, she charged like $40 for a goddamn burger and fries. Eating that shit is not cheap. Even if I go to the other spot with Veros, it's like I spent $800 a week just eating out at those vegetarian restaurants every week. I just want other options, bro. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I want a goddamn Portillo's Italian beef. On my cheat day, I want to taste an Italian beef, big dog. I miss Italian beef. Sweet peppers dipped. Heavy on the dip, sweet peppers. Have I tried Penelope's Where's that at? In Pilsen? Where's that at? Bro, I had some man, where did we go last week, bro? We went somewhere last week. I had some vegan tacos. They used that. What's that shit called? Start with a Z, a C, Chizora. What is that shit called? It's like the fake meat. What is that shit called? Chitsoria? I don't know. That shit was not good. How often you have cheat days? I usually cheat like on Saturday. I usually cheat on Saturday, maybe a Friday. I'm just running out of options. Italian beef and Pepsi, nah, bro. I ain't butter. Listen, I ain't hanging around nobody. We old, bro. I'm not around nobody that's still involved in shit where motherfucker got to tell on them. I'm not involved in any activity like that, sir. I'm not on no butter shit, bro. Buffalo Wild Wings, bro. I ain't had Buffalo Wild Wings in probably 10 years. That shit ain't. Listen, if it was Buffalo, speaking of that, see, Chazoria, that's what you're talking about. Chorizo, yeah, that's what it is. I'd rather go to Hooters. Hooters is better. The shrimp. See, man, yeah. Hey, Buddha. I don't know. Y'all gonna have to send me some cold ass recipes, man. Y'all gonna have to send me some recipes, bro, because it ain't like I was talking to my mama. I'm like, man, I'm probably finna come back. I'm finna come back. So unless y'all got some cold ass recipes, man, we went to Steak 48, bro. I was mad as hell, though. My chick got some steak. Bro, I'm sitting up there in Steak 48, bro. I'm like, obviously they don't got no vegetarian nothing on the menu at Steak 48, but most high-end steak places, they'll have like something that's off the menu for vegetarian. So she was like, yeah, we got a vegetarian pasta. I'll have the chef make it up. Man, they brought me this big ass bowl of pasta with peas in it. Man, she over there eating this fucking steak, mashed potatoes. And she just looking at me like, shaking her head, bro. I'm like, man, this big ass bowl of pasta. I don't want this shit. So I don't know, Buddha. All y'all vegetarians, man, y'all gonna have to. I'm gonna get y'all to. Let's see. I got about 3 more days worth of vegetarian food. Maybe 4. I ain't buying no more vegetarian food. Y'all got 3-4 days to send me some cold ass recipes. Once this food run out, I'm finna go to Mariano's. I'm finna get me some chicken breast. I'm gonna go to Portillo's. I'm gonna go to Gibson's. I'm going to Gibson's. I'm gonna get me a cold ass. I'm gonna go to Morton's. Ooh, I'm gonna get me a cold ass Cajun ribeye. Ooh, Cajun ribeye from Morton's. You don't even need no A1 sauce. I'm gonna go to Morton's. That one right there on Wacker. I'm gonna go right there on Wacker. I'm gonna get me a Cajun ribeye. I'm gonna go by myself. I'm gonna go sit at the bar and get me. I'm gonna go sit at the bar and get a Cajun ribeye. So I don't know. What were the benefits you gain of the diet? Nothing. That's what I'm saying. Like, why am I steady doing this shit? And I'm still fluctuate between 165 and 175. I'm fluctuating right now between 165 and 170, right? Because I'm training for this marathon in October. And no matter how much I run, I can't get below 164. It's like no matter what I do. So it's like I burn all these calories. Then I go to the gym and do strength training in the evening. I eat clean. I do these smoothies and all this shit. I'm in good shape. But like I'm not really, I don't see, like, my skin is already clean and clear. Y'all see that? Like I don't smoke, I don't drink. Like my weight ain't, I don't really see, like I'm still using the bathroom at the same frequency. I don't understand. I don't understand why I'm still doing this, to be honest with you. I gotta drive past these restaurants. I gotta sit and watch her eat shrimp fried rice, goddamn it, steak, chicken, shit. Man, you coming from the gym? Stop at Hooters or stop at Hoots, and I'm gonna put the order in, and then I gotta smell the goddamn it shrimp with the mild sauce from Hooters or Hoots. The scent. I have to sit there and smell it, and then get here and then watch her consume it with the juices of the shrimp. I did it for 1.5 years, bro. I can't do it no more. I'm hungry, bro. I want to eat again. Sorry, box truck Buddha. Studies show women love a vegetarian. Not in Chicago. I ain't met a black woman in Chicago that was a vegetarian. Black women in Chicago, it don't matter they shape or they size. They gonna eat Harold's. They gonna eat JJ's. They gonna eat Sharks. They want to go. We got to go steak 48, Gibson's. I ain't never met no vegetarian. Chicago chicken and waffles, soul food, right? A barbecue on the lakefront. Somebody barbecuing on the lakefront. Seafood boil. Where's these vegetarians? I haven't seen one. I ain't seen no vegetarian. I never met no vegetarian shit. So I don't know, Brick Dog. I wasn't looking at all. You're not talking about women. I ain't talking about women from the hood either. I'm talking about women from the crib. Just because, and here's the thing, just because you live or you come from the hood, don't necessarily mean the hood got to be in you. I come from the hood. You won't see the hood side of me unless I decide to show it to you. I'm not the type of person that's going to present that side. I'm going to present a more professional side, and you might think something else until you hear that other side come out. You got some people, like I know some people, they'll present that side to you, and then they have that other side, but you won't see that side until like they go in a more professional environment. Me, I'll present the more professional side to you first and let you think it's like that, and then catch you on the back end because you thought it was sweet, and then you'll realize, oh, okay. I mean, Chicago is segregated. So most black people, whether they're well-spoken or not, they come from the hood. You either black, you gonna come from the west side or the south side if you from the city. White people live up north. The black people that live up north more than likely migrated here, unless you live way far up north, like in Rogers Park, and those are like Africans and Haitians and shit like that. And like way up there in Rogers Park, you got some black people. But like Lincoln Park, Lakeview, Edgewater, Bucktown, Wicker Park, those black people that live over there, they not from here. They migrated here for work. They work downtown at Deloitte or some shit like that. And when they did the research moving to Chicago based on what they see on the national news about how bad Chicago is, people tell them, yeah, just move north and you'll be fine. As long as you go on the north side, you'll be fine. So black or not, if you're from Chicago in the inner city, not the suburbs, you're going to come from either the west side or the south side. Or the southeast side, which, just say the south side for a person who don't know no better. So you're going to come from some hood. It's just what it is. Do I keep track of my calories? Yeah, I use that fitness, that blue app. I put them in every day. Every meal, I scan it, or if it's something I eat frequently, I just type it in and it'll pop up, and then I track my calories. You say you've been watching me long enough. You seen what? Ghetto? You tweaking, bro. I don't got, my chicks are smart but hood. It's just like me. We come from the same environments. Listen, I'm not going to deal with no uppity chick from the suburbs. I can't do it. Some chick that didn't grow up, like, because it's just not going to work, bro. I need a chick that's similar to me, that's hood, and then can turn that shit on and off, right? That uppity shit, them chicks, they gonna get on your nerves, bro. I'm straight on that. I'm cool on that. You gotta have some urban in you. I don't need no motherfucker who don't know how to move if I'm not around. You know what I'm saying? So so I was talking about you being professional and going hood, not your women. Oh yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So it's just it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So yep. So yep. So yeah, man. Unless y'all got a recipe for me, then I'm going back to eating meat full time. Sorry. But I can't do it no more. The only reason I can't do it is because I just can't. I'm just out of recipes, bro. I done tried everything, bro. Like It's just not that many options, bro. So I got one more pack of Impossible meat. I still got some Beyond Steak left. I got a pack of Beyond Steak. What else I got? Yeah. So once that shit is done, it's a wrap, big dog. Somebody said talk about Dante. I'm not a Dante. I only do the content when it like, I know there's channels that are dedicated that all their content is about him. That's not my niche. If there's something that I can draw a parallel from a business perspective, like I did the other 2 live streams that I've done on him, then yeah, I'm not gonna just do content on him because his name is trending and I can't incorporate a parallel from a business perspective. Like, I've seen that he's done 2 or 3 videos since the last live stream. If I do that, then that means I'm reaching, and I'm just not that type of person. Like, I'm way more like, I just don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the video he dropped yesterday, like, anything that I depict from that video would just be my personal opinions. Like, bringing a person who's in the hospital for diabetes, Wendy's, and shit like that. Like, I'm just not gonna sit up there and do that because there was nothing in there that I could parallel from an educational perspective. You know, so it's entertaining when you roast. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. If I do satire, there is an education undertone, right? Like, to just come up here and beat this kid up because he's not smart, that shit ain't, it would just be entertaining. There's nothing I can parallel from a business perspective. Like, I still have to keep my niche in mind when I build content. Yeah, it's good, it's entertaining, but as an adult, you have to know when to draw the line. So if I can't make the content educational, yeah, but how can I do a live stream on his content from yesterday? I would just literally be making fun. There's nothing to, like, well, I'm gonna say, oh, don't bring a person Wendy's if they're diabetic and they're in a hospital because their blood sugar. Like, that's, if you want to do that shit, that's you. That's personal. It's not business. I can't draw a parallel from a business perspective. That's just poor decision making from a personal health, choices. If he makes a decision, like if he, does something that I can literally pull and critique it and then educate from the mistakes, then yeah, it's just that shit. Like, I ain't, so, that kid is just, I don't know, something wrong with that buddy. I don't know. I'm not that invested into him like some of these other channels that are invested into him. I'm just not. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm just not that invested into that kid like that. But if he do something that's on the business side and I can, then yeah, I'll do it. But no, so I know a lot of people like some people. Other people have reached out and like, I see the content. Like, I follow his channel, but it's nothing for me to pull out of there. Final Mile is a niche in box trucking. No, it's not the name. Final Mile is a niche. It's a niche. Maybe he'll do something this weekend, and then I'll do something. Let me see. You said good, at least having the discipline over the same period of time. Yeah. Anything I put my mind to, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just running out of options of food options, bro. I just want to eat some food. Where to buy XAI X101 token on pre-sale? I heard that. I don't even know what that token is. Somebody said go fruitarian. I don't think I can just eat fruit. I don't think that'll serve me any justice. Yeah, I don't think it'll serve me. I see a lot of people doing these watermelon diets. I just couldn't do it. Somebody said, no one knows. What y'all don't know is I got a guy. I ain't gonna say who. He's in my Discord. He watches the channel, and he is I'm not gonna say which branch of government he's with, but I will tell you this. He has done a background check on pretty much every content creator that's in this space on YouTube. I'm not gonna say who this person is. Some people know who he is. I'm not gonna say which form of government, but he has outed people. Some people I'm not gonna go into too much data, but he's ran my background like he's ran everybody else's. The reason why he's a part of this group is because I'm squeaky clean. Some people that are in here, they know who I'm talking about. And guess what? He's here. He's in the state of Illinois and city of Chicago. So I was the first person I believe that he ran. So trust me. This guy came at Kirk on a public live stream and told Kirk more about his business than Kirk probably thought anybody would know. So everything ain't for everybody. A lot of shit is not for public consumption. So Mark, go on a seafood diet. I think that's how I'm gonna start. My OG was telling me, like, if I come off of the vegetarian, to start with seafood first. And start with seafood first and then work my way back up. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna go have me a nice I don't know. I'm gonna find me a nice seafood restaurant and go sit down and have me a meal. Hopefully I don't get sick. I'm gonna do a little bit of research too on how to, actually the person who do my locks was a vegetarian for 10 years. So I'm gonna ask how they did it. And then I'm gonna do some research simultaneously on how to wean myself off being a vegetarian. Yep. So, all right. You say even when I did the montage, you covered the names and the plates. Yep, I sure did. I surely did. But shit, that didn't stop this motherfucker, because this motherfucker is part of the government. So, I surely did. I covered the rap. I left some shit. I didn't cover everything. I left part of the name with clues. But, it was really, really general. So, but, and that was done purposely, because like you saw the guy earlier who just wants to know about motherfucking personal business. I just don't want everybody in my business. You gonna go ask how they did for 10 years? No, I'm gonna ask how they came off. I really ain't concerned about how they did it for 10 years. I'm just more concerned about how they transition off of it, more so than why and how they did it. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I am Joe. You've been watching the channel for a while. I don't think this is your real screen name. I think you had another screen name, and this is a different screen name for whatever reason. Cause you ain't a person that I've seen often, but you know a lot about the content. So you've been watching for a while. So either this is a second channel, or you didn't have to change your channel name for a reason. Let's get you to 10 years. Nah, we're gonna go back to meat pimp. Unless y'all can send me some cold ass recipes, I'm going back to eating meat, bro. I'll give you the Monday. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you the Sunday. Yeah, I'll give you the Monday. I'll give you the Monday. Unless y'all can send me some cold ass recipes, I'm going back to meat. And this is what it is. Sorry. You gonna ask how they did? Yeah. Pizza, love pizza. I eat cheese pizza now. I get like a Connie's cheese pizza, or I get a Home Run Inn cheese pizza. Yeah, I eat Connie's cheese or a Home Run Inn cheese pizza. But once I come off this vegetarian diet, sausage and cheese, pimp. Go to Illuminati's and get me a nice sausage and cheese. I eat bean burritos. Tired of that shit too, bro. Tired of bean burritos. Tired of all that shit, bro. Tired of that shit. I gotta eat. Unless you can find me something that ain't. I've been eating baked sweet potatoes, and putting boiling broccoli and beans and loaded sweet potatoes. I did all that shit. Vegetarian lasagna, I do that. You can buy that. The Amy's vegetarian lasagna. I eat the vegetarian. I think it's Amy's make that. I did that. Get you a ribeye first. I don't eat unless they beef, pork. I don't eat pork. I don't eat no swine. So no swine. You did. No swine. No swine. So I got a taste for nice beef. I ain't gonna say what it is because y'all like to play that game. But y'all from the crib know Jewtown. I gotta give me a Jewtown, a nice beef Jewtown. You know what? I gotta go to Jewtown and get me a nice beef. You know what? Gotta get me a nice. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that I did. I'm not doing no water diet again. I ain't doing that shit no more. I did that one time, never again. I'm not committing to that. I didn't see the value in that. I went on 72-hour water diet, and like there was no magical results. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Chicago's some of the best food, hands down. Agreed. I don't think anybody beating us on the food. The people that come here and they complain, like all that shit that I was seeing that went viral for Black Yacht Weekend, that's because they didn't know where to go. You know what I'm saying? Like you black and you come here, you're not gonna find the good food downtown. You're gonna find good steakhouses, but if you want real food, you gotta go to the hood. You gotta go to somebody's hood. If you want good Mexican food, you're gonna have to go into Pilsen. You're gonna have to go on 18th Street. You're gonna have to go on 26th Street. If you want good black food, you can't eat the Harold's downtown. Arabs own that. That shit ain't even the real Harold's. That's a fake Harold's. The Arabs, if an Arab is there, that's not real Harold's. You got to go to the hood. You got to go on 87th in the Dan Ryan, or you need to go on 22nd in Michigan. If you want some sharks, you got to go in the hood. You want JJ's, you got to go in the hood. If you want soul food, you got to go in the hood. You got to go to Soleil. You got to go to Chicago Chicken and Waffles. You got to go to Five Lowe's on 75th right off King Drive. They got good food, a little small, little hole in the wall type spot, but they got good food. If you vegetarian, you gotta go to Soul Vegetarian on 75th in Indiana. You gotta go to the hood. So people come here like they came for Black Yacht Boat Weekend and they went downtown and they tweaking. That's because then nobody, like, ain't shit downtown. You gonna get what, Gibsons and some other steakhouses, Morton, Shaw's, Steak 48, STK, RPM. Ain't shit down there. You heard of Shy Ill? Yeah, what about it? That was an old record label from Chicago back in the day. They think Garrett's is the best popcorn. I haven't tasted a popcorn better than Garrett's. Now, you know, I remember Garrett's growing up as a child when there was a lot more locations. Like, you go downtown, it was damn near Garrett's, damn near on every other corner, and it would be long lines. They sold, right? So it's a corporate company. You know, when I'm in Vegas, they got a Garrett's in the mall. The mall with Planet Fitness, it's a Garrett's there. They got Garrett's all over the place because a corporate company bought them, and they've been expanding outside Chicago. I think a corporate company bought Portillo's too. I think they've been expanding outside Chicago. But I haven't tasted the popcorn better than Garrett's. Let's Get Poppin' on Western. Oh, you talking about 100 and something in Western where the dude was buying the popcorn, the fireman, and they tried to steal his Trackhawk, and then he got into a shootout with him and he got killed? You know what? I never tried that spot, so I can't attest to that. So for all the popcorn that I've tried, Garrett's is the best. Maybe I'll try Let's Get It Poppin' one of these days when I'm in the hundreds. Yeah, he died about that popcorn, didn't he? Or did he die about that Trackhawk? I would have gave that Trackhawk up. Fuck it, y'all can have it, bro. If one dude pop out to take your shit, it's 3 or 4. Like, he ain't the only one, bro. And I think that's where he messed up. Just because you got a gun, sometimes you just got to let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, let that shit go. I remember that. That's how I know Let's Get It Poppin'. I associate Let's Get It Poppin' with the fireman losing his life for that damn popcorn and that Trackhawk. You know, so, you know, I like, if that would have been me, I'd have just lowered it. Fuck it. I'm outnumbered. I would know, but he was older. I would know that if somebody saying lower this shit, that car that's right there, that's 4 of them in there. And it's probably 3 or 4 of them. They got switches. My handgun ain't finna do nothing when buddy ass already got the ups on me because they sitting on this bitch. And then you got the guy like Daniel Huff in here earlier talk about pretty much, Mark, I want to know all your business. And this is why living in the city I live in, you can't do all that shit. They was sitting on that bitch. So when he came out, boom, buddy was already on him, lower that bitch. And he want to up and get into a shootout, but then you got 3, 4 in them. Like, you outgunned, bro. Just let that shit go. Let that shit go, bro. You get another Trackhawk. You get another Trackhawk, bro. Just let it go. Hope you got gap. You dig what I'm saying? But he should have known in that car, you can't drive a Trackhawk in the city of Chicago and park it. It's either going to be one or 2 things going to happen. It's either going to be gone when you come out, or it's going to be motherfuckers sitting on it. It might be more than one crew sitting on it. It might be 2 different crews sitting on it. It's going to be one or 2 things. Either it's going to be gone or somebody going to be sitting on it waiting for you to come out. Look what they did with Buddy over in Chinatown with his. Killed him. He wanted to fight for it. Bro, just let this shit go, bro. Let it go. You know, just let it go, bro. It ain't worth it. You're going to be outgunned. I don't care if you conceal carry or not. Ain't nobody jacking you for a track halt by themselves. Like, you're not gonna win against 4-5-4 in them and 3-4 switches. It's not gonna win, bro. Just let it go. So I wouldn't even buy one, to be honest with you. Where the fuck you gonna drive it? You can't go nowhere. You go to the grocery store, they sitting on it when you come out. You go to the gym, somebody's sitting on it when you come out. You can't go nowhere in it. If you're gonna own it here, you just gotta stay in it, drive it, stay in your mirrors, and that's just uncomfortable. Like, I don't even understand why a person would buy it, but whatever. Oh, you got Portillo's in Texas now? Yeah, I knew they was expanding since that corporate company bought it. Dick Portillo sold it. I Am Joe said, please don't go. Sounds dangerous. No, I know how to move. The cars I like driving are old, what's considered old man cars. Like young cats don't like sedans and shit like that. They like fast shit, Hellcats, shit like that, Hellcats and shit like that. Like old, like sedans and shit like that. They don't fuck with that shit. And or Hyundais and Kias, they'll steal that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Florida market for Final Mile? Yeah. It's Final Mile. People buying appliances down there and furniture. It's a market for it. I don't know how prevalent it is in comparison to other markets, but there's a market for it, yeah. In the major cities, I got AJ in my Discord. He running in Tallahassee. He got a Final Mile route. I forgot which 3PL he running for, but he got a route averaging 15 stops a day. I was just talking to him about it yesterday. Out of fact, that's the guy that one of the examples I gave in this early live stream. That was him. Yeah, he running in Tallahassee. So yep. She said, I Am Joe, the neighborhood is actually really nice. Yeah, that's Beverly. And on the other side of Western, you got Mount Greenwood, which a lot of police live in Mount Greenwood. But at the end of the day, the crime isn't confined to like back in the day where it was just confined to the hoods. Like, criminals are smart now. Like, these young people, they stupid, but they smart. So they understand that, you know, doing crime in the hood or robbing people in the hood it's limited. Like, you're robbing people poor, and everybody in the hood got a gun. It's easier to go into a more affluent neighborhood now, right? Because they've advanced, they got smart, where people are less likely for crime to happen. So these people's guards are down. They like walking around, walking their fucking dog, goofy and shit, talking on their phone, texting while they letting their dog piss and shit, and they face buried in their phone, dog and leash in one hand, buried in their phone in another, and following them driving around in Lincoln Park or Bucktown or Wicker Park or Beverly or wherever, these more affluent areas in Chicago, because it's just an easier Vic versus doing that shit in Inglewood or Chatham or Gresham, you know, or some parts of Galewood out west. You know what I'm saying? You know, different communities, or Pilsen, you know what I'm saying, where the resident is a little bit more aware of their surroundings. Their situational awareness is a lot more keen than an individual who's walking in Lincoln Park. So it's just an easier Vic. It's an easier Vic. 9 times out of 10, they not strapped. The criminal wants to make it home at the end of the day too. So that's where that situational awareness comes in at, from, you know, growing up in certain types of environments. You know, that's the type of motherfucker who, they live up there in Lincoln Park, Lakeview, shit like that. You'll walk past them and they'll just keep walking further. You walk past me, I don't give a fuck who you is. As soon as we cross paths, I'm gonna take 1-2 steps. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna take another 2 steps. I'm gonna keep turning around. I'm damn near trying to look because, motherfucker, you come circle back around. I already know the play. They don't understand that situational awareness because they don't come from the environments in the city that we come from. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the crime isn't contained to just the bad neighborhoods like it used to be. That's why so much crime downtown. Downtown is gone as shit. That's why all the restaurants is leaving. You see fucking Eddie V's left. They went out to Oak Brook. God damn it. I'm thinking of the restaurant because I'm thinking of the stuffed chicken breast. I gotta give me some stuffed chicken breast too. God damn it. Roof Chris, they said to hell with it. They left downtown. Lori's is gone. Grand Lux, as much money as Grand Lux. They said to hell with it. Too many YNs coming up in Grand Lux. That's like Grand Lux and cheesecake to a YN is like to an older person fucking Gibson's. Shit, that's a treat for them. Shit, they got up out of there. They said to hell with it. We just gonna leave cheesecake. Fuck this. Like we can't do both. Ain't no more Grand Lux. Like I used to just go to Grand Lux and just sit at the bar for lunch. Just if I want to grab something quick, can't do that shit no more. You know, so yeah, it's just a different city, different mindset. So it's not safe nowhere. You know, you have to have situational awareness downtown, up north, in these garages. Now you got the migrants. They fucking with these big ass, dumbass knives and shit. They doing shit. I heard they got hoes out in Gresham. They pimping hoes. I'd seen some on the news where they was, I don't know what was there, somewhere in Gresham. Like so, yeah, you gotta have situational awareness. You can't have your guard down nowhere. Downtown, Lakeview, Lincoln Park, Bucktown, Wicker Park, nowhere. Say you invincible in the 450. Yeah, they don't want no truck. You know, so this person keep asking about this crypto. I don't know if this is like a troll or yeah, so yeah. So yeah, you just gotta be careful how you move and yeah. Yep. All right, man. Let me hit the gym. It's late, man. It's 6:00. So I'm gonna be in the gym late. All right, I kicked it with y'all. This was my one live stream where I just sit and kick the bobos. I see these guys is in the Discord talking, sending out messages. So I'm gonna go over there while I go over to the gym, get my workout in. Let me see. All right. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.